So your video is on, but that your audio is on mute. This is a misdemeanor Orca calendar. The calendar cases that we're going to be addressing this morning are misdemeanor matters in which we are going to get a snapshot or get the status of the cases. If you are a defendant appearing either in person in courtroom G33 at 136 Prior Street, or if you're appearing via Zoom, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you choose to discuss about the facts of your case, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, I'll give you an opportunity to speak to a public defense counsel. We may have a couple on Zoom, but we have otherwise Ms. Sarah Rosenhuber, as well as Mr. Frank Gaither, as well as Mr. Jawan Haddad. I don't know if I've caught everyone on PD's side.
Good morning, Judge.
Last but not least, okay. These are our attorneys from the Public Defender's Office who will be glad to speak with you to see if you qualify for their services, and if so, they can be your representative counsel with regards to the case brought against you. For some of these cases, in terms of status, I want to know whether you are ready to take a plea, that is, whether the defendant, in consultation with their attorney or upon their own research, has decided to plead guilty or no contest in exchange for a recommended sentence. I don't know if you've received an offer from the prosecution, so today would be an opportunity for you to tell us that, whether you want to consider an offer. The other cases in which we want to plead not guilty, and then we will reset your case for a trial. Please let me know whether you're represented by counsel or not, whether you want a bench trial, that is a trial before a judge, or whether you would like a jury trial, that is trial before a jury. In either event, your cases will be reset. A pre-hearing order will be issued, or pre-trial order will be issued today. And that will dictate the schedule of the motions and so forth prior to trial. Ladies and gentlemen, I do realize that some of you are appearing via Zoom, and that's a privilege that we can afford right today. But nevertheless, this is still a formal court proceeding. So I expect you to be appropriately dressed, remove any hats you're wearing, be in a seated position. I don't think I was ever allowed to be reclining in a courtroom. Thank you. And if you're driving, we will remove you from Zoom, and then you will be addressed last. All right. So let me, are there any, okay. And what's your name, sir? Yes.
Frank Walker.
Frank Walker. All right. And Mr. Walker has indicated that he wants to speak to his position 31, and he wants to speak to Ms. Rising.
Judge, we're submitting an all-broth on that.
All right. Mr. Walker, the prosecution has decided to close the case out and dismiss the charge, so you're free to go.
All right, thank you so much.
I don't know what magic you weave, but all right, sir. Have a good day.
All right, thanks.
All right, and sir, in the courtroom, who's your attorney again, Ms. Rosenhuber?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the
He is position number 19. That's Mr. Byron Lawrence. And Judge, if we could have an opportunity to pre-try the case, I need to speak with Ms. Githea and we'll report back.
Can you give me the last name again?
Lawrence?
Lawrence?
Yes, position 19.
And ma'am, you just walked in. Do you have a case with us? What's your name, please? Williams. Sorry, Ms. Williams, were you here earlier or did you just walk in?
Oh, Judge, that's going to be my case. I'm just trying to find her position on the calendar.
42.
42, Judge. Yes, that's going to be my case. I've already entered in an appearance. Judge, that's going to be a diversion offer. I just want to announce pre-trial. I want to give Miss Williams just the details of that diversion offer.
Okay, do you need her number?
No, Judge, I have her number.
Okay, so will you call her and then she'll step outside and take the call? You have your phone with you, Ms. Williams? All right, your attorney is Catrice Helen. She's appearing via Zoom. And apparently there's an offer for you to do pre-trial diversion. So if you accept, then we will move the case forward accordingly, all right? So please make sure you are watching out for your attorney's phone number. Thank you. Right, that takes care of all the cases. Mr. Rothman, good morning. Who is your client?
Good morning, Your Honor. My client is Shanice Clements. It's CLEMENTS, and she is present on the Zoom.
All right, position number 2. Right, and Ms. Clements, where is she? Ms. Clements, if you identify yourself, I've got multiple pages of items. Ms. Clements, if you unmute, say hello.
Ms. Clements,
Hello, good morning.
Where is she? Okay, there she is. All right, thank you. All right, and Ms. Rothman, how are we proceeding today?
and Your Honor, we're just missing some discovery on this case. We're missing the body cam for the primary officer and the witness list. So if we could get that and then get an offer from the prosecutor.
Who is this, who's prosecution? Is it
Good
Ms.
morning,
Rice?
Your Honor. That would be me, ASG Get the Air. The videos were sent to Ms. Rothman on July 11th. And I will double check regarding the witness list, and the offer was sent to her on August 16th.
All right.
Okay,
Also,
so-
go ahead, check your emails on the July 11th and August 16th. And I'm gonna put this down as pre-trial.
Okay, so we're still missing the witness list and the body cam from the primary officer.
And that's why I'm gonna say pre-trial, you're gonna have a chance to speak to Ms. Githia.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank
Any other cases, Ms. Rothman?
that's it, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. I think Evan Gates is counsel. Sir, who is your client?
Good morning, Judge. Chris Campbell here for Evan Gates.
Okay,
We have received an offer and discovery. I just want to confirm with the state that there is no body camera videos or outstanding pictures that'll be used as evidence.
Ms. Githia, is that your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, that's your case. Excuse me.
Yes, I understood. Yes, I believe all the discovery has been sent, but I can double check.
Okay. So I think Ms. Githia and Mr. Campbell will have a conversation about the status and whether they want to move forward with the plea. Right? Mr.
Well,
Campbell?
it can go on a trial calendar. I just wanted to make sure or confirm if there were body camera or any pictures that the state had in their possession.
We do not have any body camera.
Okay. Mr. Campbell, what would you like to do next?
Yeah, it can go on a jury trial calendar now, Judge.
All right, position number 6 is going to be further notice to a jury trial. And we will issue a pretrial order today. And Mr. Campbell, you will receive a copy of that pretrial order and we see you at trial. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Brandon Rosenblum, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. How are you today?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Good. I'm here on Joseph Cost, 21 CR 005378.
How do I spell his last name?
Position 3.
Okay, position 3, all right?
Your Honor, discovery is complete. We have an offer from the state. I've been in pretrial discussions with Ms. Gathea off and on since this started, and there's definitely some issues, but if we want to put it on the pretrial calendar, we can do that.
So this will be for a final plea then?
What say the state? Are we still going forward on this case?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, I didn't catch the question.
Are we still going forward on this case? The alleged victim is missing. I will, I cannot advise my client to take a plea on this case, so I guess we'll ask for trial.
Okay, are you seeking let me see, oh, this is gonna be family violence, so it's gonna be a jury trial.
That's fine.
This is going to be further notice for a jury trial and a pretrial order with issue. And you'll get notice in the mail. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll need to make sure that the cross-defendant victim is made a material witness on this case.
All right, I'm assuming that's notice to the prosecutor, so that's noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat what you just stated?
The cross-defendant / alleged victim needs to be made a material witness on this case, since it's a he said, she said case. He said case.
Okay, thank you.
That completes my business, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Rosenblum. Have a good
Okay.
week. Thank you. Folks, if an attorney wants to chime in, Mr.
Judge Mike Moran here.
Brand, good morning. Yes.
Good morning to you, Judge. I represent Philip Kevill, K-E-V-I-L.
Right, position 16, and is Mr. Philip Kevill present?
Judge, he is in my office. Philip, can you come over here, stand up and just be seen? He is in my office with me, Judge. He doesn't have the technology to hook up, but he is physically present.
All right, and how are we proceeding, Mr. Moran?
Judge, we have discovery on this. I anticipate that we'll be able to resolve this without trial. I think that the matter should go to a final plea calendar. At this point, I don't show that we have an offer on the case yet.
All right, who's the prosecutor?
That is mine as well, Your Honor. An offer was sent August 16th.
All right, Mr. Moran, please check your email. It was sent on August 16th. The final plea calendar will be for October 5th at 1:30 p.m.
Very well. I will check my email, Judge. And
All
I
right,
think that completes our business at this point.
correct. Thank you. You're free to get.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Winters. Gabriel Winters, if you'd like to unmute, who's your client, please?
Mike, good morning, Your Honor. My client is Mr. Kelvin Curry, 21 CR 6310F.
All right, and that's position 4. And how are we proceeding, Mr. Winters?
Judge, I would actually, we had an offer extended. I was speaking to the solicitor as recent as yesterday about the offer. I do have some additional mitigating things I want to talk about with the prosecutor, Judge. I would ask if the court would consider giving us one last status date so that I can have a more substantive discussion with the prosecutor. And we'll be ready to make an announcement for plea at trial at that next status date.
I'm going to reset it for a final plea. And you already have the plea offer, so if things don't work out, y'all can always demand a trial prior to that final plea time. And that's going to be October 5th at 1:30 p.m.
Is that in person, Judge?
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Judge. That concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Winters.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Mr. Curry is present, he's free to go as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Folks, I do apologize. I'm going through 3 pages of individuals, so if you're counsel, you can go ahead and chime in.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Ramon Fajardo.
See you, sir. Mr. Fajardo? Yes, sir. Who's your client?
Mario Gavarete is 21 CR.
I'm sorry, give me the last name and you're next, sir.
Gavarete, Gavarrete.
Mr. Mario Gavarrete.
Position 7, Your Honor.
Got it. All right, and counsel, how is your client proceeding?
Oh, we have a negotiated plea tendered to the court this morning, Your Honor.
All right, and have the documents been sent back to the prosecutor?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor, and I believe your office should have them through DocuSign.
Yes, we did that. They're complete.
Oh, I was telling the judge that her
Oh, I'm sorry.
litigation managers, should have received them.
Ms. Gutierrez, what's the document flow right now? Who is it with? The state or back to?
It's to be with the litigation manager, Your Honor.
And that would be Mr. Randolph Evans.
Okay.
The last name is position 7, Gabarette Pena. All right, we will get the documents for position number 7. Mr. Fajardo, is your client, where is he?
You should be on Zoom, Your Honor.
There are a lot of folks on Zoom, so Mr. Pena, if you're present, please announce yourself.
I am.
Oh, there you are on the phone. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Counsel, what's your name, please?
Yes, good morning, Attorney Eric Johnson, Your Honor, for Mr. Garrett Hinton. He's present, Your Honor.
Hinton?
Hinton.
Hinton.
Position 12.
Thank you. Johnson, yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask that the matter be placed on the final plea calendar. We have received an offer from the state. I do believe I have the majority of the discovery. Would like to go over with my client and do believe that this matter should be resolved at the next calendar.
All right.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, which position were we on?
We have position 12, and I do apologize, Mr. Johnson, if you would take that podium, that way you can be heard by the prosecutor who's on Zoom.
Yes, Your Honor, Attorney,
We set the final plea,
yes, Your Honor.
and
We have received this majority of discovery. I do believe it's somewhat complete. We have received an offer from the state. Just have to communicate that with my client, Your Honor, and we would ask for a reset to the final plea date.
and do you know which prosecutor you're communicating?
I believe it's Ms. Gathea.
Ms. Gideon?
That is correct. All the discovery has been sent. And the offer was sent also.
If an offer is going to be accepted, please make sure that the documents are all completed prior to the October 5th date.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that way they do the DocuSign format now.
Yes.
So as soon as your client has signed off on the document, will then be forwarded to the litigation management.
Yes, Your
That
Honor.
way we will have it available to move forward.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this will be an in-person final plea calendar, October 5th at 1:30 p.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge. This is Alan Levine for Damian Suggs. Did you want attorneys to just chime in?
Yes, and I'm sorry, repeat the name again?
Damian Suggs, and he is on Zoom. He's present, and I've got the accusation number if you need.
No,
It's
that's
position
okay.
36 and 37, Judge.
Thank you.
And we submitted our plea paperwork via DocuSign as well, Judge.
36 and 37.
Yes, Judge. 37 is a duplicate case. Well, not a duplicate, but I think it was printed on the calendar twice.
Okay.
So I'll not cross. Actually, no, I don't need an all cross that, but I will.
Being removed from the calendar.
Yes.
All right, just 1 second. I need to go back to the opinion. On the plea, we just not really not
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
on Gabrielle opinion.
I believe that's Ms. Githya's case. I'm not positive what the plea negotiations are on that.
I was just given a null cross, and that's just for one of the charges. Okay, understood. Thank you. All right, 36, Mr. Levine, as soon as the paperwork is printed, I will call your client and take the plea. So y'all can switch off your video and mute yourself until I call the case for a plea.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Appreciate that.
Please advise your client accordingly. Okay, next, the private counsel.
Your Honor.
Waters,
Okay, Mr. Waters, and who was the
Yes.
other person?
Trost, Chris Trost,
Chris Frost.
Christopher Trost. Yes, Your Honor.
And I
I don't
heard,
have a position number.
no, that's all right. I heard another attorney chime in. Who was it?
Good morning, Your Honor. Catherine Edmonds here on behalf of Mario Holloway.
All right, and Holloway, got you. All right, you'll be next, Ms. Edmonds, thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Lisa Wells. I'm here for Christopher Thomason.
Okay. Probably ask you all to repeat your client's names again. Okay, anyone else that you want me to put on the list?
Yes,
Mr.
Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Owens on behalf of Eugene Ingram.
Ingram. All right, Thank you. All right, I'm going to take these four next and then I'll call the next roll. First one is Mr. Waters for Mr. Tross.
I've been speaking with Jacob Stevens on this matter, at least by email. There is a plea offer that my client is going to accept. We would just simply ask that you put it on the October 5th plea calendar.
Okay, this is regarding Christopher Tross.
It is, Your Honor.
Okay. So this is going to be on a final plea calendar, October 5th at 1:30 p.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
Person. And again, I request that all the documents be completed and forwarded so that we can have them ready at the final plea calendar, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Waters, no, I think I just, sorry. Please remember, Mr. Waters is an in-person matter, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. And can me and my client be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you. Ms. Edmonds for Mr. Holloway.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. We have a negotiated plea ready for your consideration. I believe all of the paperwork has been submitted to the court. I'm not sure if Mr. Holloway is on the Zoom call. But if he's not, I spoke to him a day or two ago, so I just asked to give him a call. He should be on here.
Mario Holloway, if you are present, please unmute, start your video and say hello. Mario Holloway. Mario Holloway, are you wearing a green shirt? I can't hear you. You need to unmute your device. He is under number 783310. If the host will please rename that.
Okay, can you hear me now, Your Honor?
Holloway, now that you know how to mute and unmute, I'm going to ask you to mute your panel again, and we will call your case up shortly for a plea. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I'm sitting outside of Judge Mather's courtroom. I just need to check in there. Can I just be excused for a few moments?
I will just put down, I'm going to hold for your report. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Wells for Mr. Thomason.
Yes, Your Honor. We are waiting for the final offer from the state. They were going to check on a couple of things and it was fairly late in the evening. So also to a potential extended video is something that he was going to check on as well. So we can reset this to a future date.
Possible extended video. And what else were you waiting on?
The offer, there was restitution to be determined. We didn't know about that. And he was considering the sentence recommendation.
All right, Ms. Reiser.
Yes, Judge. That is Mr. Stevens' case. He's out sick today. I'm familiar with the facts of this case. I will double check with him on the video. It's my understanding we've turned over all discovery, and I'll make sure we get her the final offer on the case.
All right, Ms. Wells, with regards to the offer, then I'll reset the case to the final plea calendar, which is October 5th at 1:30 p.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And please make sure that you receive the offer documents through DocuSign, that they're completed before October 5th, and we can move forward accordingly.
All right, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Owens for Mr. Ingram.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, position 15. And Mr. Ingram, probably moving forward with your client's case.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. We have received the discovery materials and an offer from the state. We don't believe this case will require a trial to be resolved. It will be our intent to move forward with a negotiated plea at a later time. Your Honor, my client is basically working out of town. He's currently, for lack of a better word, stationed in Alabama. And this is,
I'm sorry, where is he?
In the state of Alabama. He is on Zoom, but he's currently located physically in the state of Alabama due to his work.
Which city?
I'm sorry, Mr.
Ingram.
Ingram, what city are you in? Mr. Ingram?
You're muted, sir.
Yeah, I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, that's close by. Don't worry. Okay. Yes, Mr. Owen, so a final plea calendar, would that work?
Yes, Your Honor, it will work. I would ask for opportunity for my client to participate via Zoom if that is at all possible.
No, he's gonna be here in person.
Okay, is it possible to go ahead and ask for a non-negotiated plea date?
Definitely. It will be October 5th at 1:30 PM. And it will be in person, and this will be a non-negotiated plea. So that means the state is not going to forward any documents to you. You already have the offer, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then at the time of the hearing in court, the documents will be filled out in terms of explaining your client's rights and so forth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, it's about give or take 2 hours from Birmingham, Alabama. So, Mr. Ingram, make sure you give yourself.
Yeah, it's only 2.5 hours, Your Honor.
Yep, used to make that trip. Had a kid in there. All right, take care.
Oh, yeah, Your Honor, I'd like to make sure that the court knows that I had a change of address.
All right, why don't you put that in the chat? To whom should he send it, Mr. Evans? Or you can give it, or does your attorney have your new address?
Yes, it's 7150.
No, wait, I'm not gonna write down. You
Oh,
can, or you can give it to your attorney, and then we have our litigation manager, Essen Smith, or we have which is LN Randall. Mr. Owens.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm doing everything correctly.
Yeah, the correct thing would be to come to the clerk's office and update it. So, or mail a change of address. Okay, thank you.
All righty, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ingram, October 5th, 1:30 PM in person for a final plea, okay? A non-negotiated plea.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Owens?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I have Attorney Stevens. Attorney Stevens. All right, do I have any other private counsel on the Zoom?
Your Honor, I just wanted to jump back on. I'm here for Mario Holloway. Just wanted to let you know that I'd rejoined the meeting and I'm ready for whenever the court's ready for the negotiated plea.
I only have the plea documents right now for Mr. Gabrick Pena. So if you just give me a few more moments, that's all the plea documents I have right now. So as soon as these documents get printed, I will call your client's name up for a plea. So please hold. Like I said, you can put yourself on mute and switch off the video, but just make sure you are close enough to hear the matter. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Miss Rosenhuber?
Yes. One of my clients.
Yes.
I
don't have any other private counsel on Zoom, so I'm going to.
Yes, Your Honor. Zakia Watson Cafe here. My client is at the courthouse. Yes.
Oh, there you are. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And who's your client?
It's Woodruff. She should be at the courthouse.
What's your name, please?
Dalmikia Woodruff.
Woodruff, okay. Position 43, all right. And Miss Watson Cafe, what's your client going to do today?
I need an opportunity to speak with her. I need an opportunity to speak to her with her. We just reconnected with her regarding the discovery.
All right. Do you have her number?
Yes, we just got her number, Your Honor. So I just need to convey. I guess, Your Honor, can we go on the trial calendar, and then if we come to a resolution before the plea date, we can let Your Honor know.
Would you be possible for you to talk to her on the phone? That way I can decide whether to put in the final plea or a trial calendar. pending on?
Okay, I can do that, Your Honor. I'm kind of going in between two Zooms right now, though. But I'll go ahead and call.
Okay,
And call her.
step outside, Ms. Woodruff, your attorney's gonna call you.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other private counsel on Zoom? Any others who showed up in court? All right, Ms. Rosenhofer.
Your Honor.
Let's start before somebody else. Oh, did I hear somebody else chime in?
Your Honor, it's Brenda Rothman, sorry.
Yes.
We're waiting on a pretrial with the state, and I have a 10 o'clock in Judge Taylor's. I'm not sure if they're gonna have time to get with me on that pretrial. It's for Clements.
Oh, dear. You know, you're probably gonna have to step out, but I'm gonna make a note over here that I'm gonna hold for your report.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Ms. Rosenhuber?
Yes, Judge, thank you. Beginning with position number 5, I have Mr. Stephen Folks. He should be on the Zoom.
Okay, Stephen David Folks. Stephen David Folks.
I thought he was, Judge. He sent me an email to that effect.
How are we proceeding today?
Judge, I did file a motion to suppress in this case yesterday, so at this time we'd ask for a motions calendar.
Okay, and that would be November 16th.
Okay.
At 9 a.m. Mr. Stephen Folks, this will be a good time to start your video and unmute your phone.
I think that's him, Judge. Under iPhone, it did show connecting to audio. Mr. Folks, if that's you, the red shirt, will you wave? Okay, thumbs up.
You have to be in court in person, not Zoom, on November 16th at 9 a.m. Okay, you got it.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You're free to go, Mr. Folks. Next case.
Moving on to position number 24, Miss Angela Mayville. Ms. Gippier and I did fill out and submit the diversion paperwork for that case. We just need another court date so that she can report back and get a status of how she's done.
Right. I can reset it to the final plea calendar on October 5th.
That sounds good, Judge.
And this is for purposes of compliance.
Yes, Judge.
For diversion compliance. All right, if Angela Mayville is on Zoom, she's free to go. Her next court date is October 5th at 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
All right, next one.
Position number 30, Mr. Devontae Reed. We did complete the DocuSign paperwork for that case. He is present on Zoom, so we'll be ready whenever the court is.
Okay, position 30. Yes, there is Devontae Reed. Are you present? Devontae Reed, R-E-I-D.
He's under D Reed, Judge. I told him to turn his camera off. He was moving around a good bit, but I know he's there.
Okay, all right. Mr. Reed, we're going to be taking a plea in your case. Please make sure that you're near your device when your name is called, okay? So right now, put it on mute and switch off your video. Be ready when your name is called.
Okay, thank you.
Next case.
And lastly, Judge, I have positions number 32 and 33, Mr. Michael Salter.
Okay.
And I have spoken with him. I do expect him to be present, Judge, but at this time, we have tried to work out this case. We're not at a point where we can plea it today. We would request a final plea calendar, the August or the October 5th date.
Okay. Mr. Michael Salter, are you present on Zoom? Michael Salter.
Michael Salter.
Oh, there he is.
All right, Mr. Salter, he snuck in. Okay, Judge, then yes, we would request the October 5th date, please. Thank you.
Mr. Salter, your case is going to be reset to October 5th at 1:30 p.m. for a final plea. Your attorney and you will go over the documents and you need to be present in person to take the plea.
Okay. And Judge, that completes my position with the exception of position number 19, Mr. Lawrence, who we addressed at the beginning of the calendar. We're just pre-trying that case.
Oh, is that the one he has to speak to you to see if he qualifies?
No, Judge, he's the one who I have to speak with Ms. Githia and maybe a plea
Oh,
today.
that's right, you have to speak to Mr. VA, okay.
And Your Honor, is the court taking announcements from attorneys or are you just gonna go through the calendar?
I'm taking announcements for the attorneys right now, so was that Mr. Haddad?
Yes, it's me, Judge. I have one, position number 11, Chris Harris. He's online, Judge. He's on Zoom. It's gonna be a plea. I submitted the DocuSign paperwork last night, but we're ready to go whenever the court is able to, Judge.
Okay, position number 11, Christopher Harris will be taking a plea as soon as I get the documents. Right now, I only have documents for Mr. Gabriel Pena. Just one plea has been printed. So everyone, please hold. We're moving through the documents accordingly.
No
Okay,
worries.
and who's your next case, Mr. Haddad?
That's all. That's the other one I had was Mr. Pacheco, position number, Pacheco, position number 28. That case was null pros, Judge, position number 28. He's actually on Zoom, but he completed diversion and the null pros was signed and submitted.
Position 28 was null crossed,
That's
okay?
correct. He's Mr. Pacheco, you're free to go, sir. Your case was dismissed.
Thank you very much.
All right, anything else, Mr. Haddad?
No, Judge, I'll be here though.
Thank you. Mr. Gabriel, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Judge. My first case is position 8, Armaya Gibbons. In this case, Judge, I'm asking that we reset her case to another status calendar. I've just given, this is Ms. Githie's case, but I had some physical documents that the defense gave to Ms. Reiser on Ms. Githie's behalf. And there's a video that my client made me aware of that she tried to get from the apartment complex. They said they won't give it to her, so I'm gonna have to send my investigator to go get it. And so the only reason I said another status calendar, because I don't want to jam myself up and say October the 5th, and then we're still back here. I'm trying to say, look, I'm still trying to get some more documents.
Okay, November 2nd at 9 a.m. status calendar.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, next case.
My next case, Judge, is position 17, Malia King.
Okay, Malaya.
Malaya King. Ms. King, I thought I saw her on Zoom.
I think
I'm here.
Okay. Hey, Ms. King. Your Honor, this case, I want to further notice this to the final plea calendar simply because I need it. I have the discovery from the state, but I want to ask them, can they still send me a copy of the video in a format where I can share it? Because right now I can't share the video with her.
Can she come down and watch it with you?
She can, if we can do that, yeah, but we need to, but at least if we put this on the final plea calendar, I'm certain we can work it out at that date.
Okay, Ms. King, there seems to be a technical issue. You will need to come down to the public defender's office and view some evidence that your attorney has for you. Your next court date is going to be October 5th at 1:30 p.m. and you would need to be in court in person, not.
Yes,
Zoom.
ma'am.
All right. Thank you. You're free to go.
Ms. King, I'll call you.
Next case.
Thank you.
The next case I have was a little bit of a shock to me. It's position 18, and I see he is on Zoom. His name is Charles Langford.
Rashad Langford.
I did see him. And the reason why it was slightly a shock because he was absent at the last court, I believe in June.
Mhm.
And
Yes, it was because my attorney didn't let me know when the next court date was. I've always been present for all of my court dates. I've always come. My address wasn't correct, I believe, I guess. That's how they said that I didn't know about the last court date. I had to go up there and reschedule it. I was jailed because of it, but I've always come to my court dates, and it was a big inconvenience that happening.
What would you like to do, Mr. Gabriel?
we need to further notice this case, Judge. I'm not even prepared to talk to him about this case. I didn't even bring his file. I was not aware that his case was on the calendar, that he would have appeared today.
All right, just 1 second. I'd like to look into this interview. So the address change was submitted on July 27th, 2023.
And I was contacting my attorney, asking when the next appearance would need to be. And I hadn't heard from him, Mr. Mike Raffoff.
Yeah, Mr. Mike Raffoff has left the PD's office.
Oh, that's why I couldn't reach him. Because that's the attorney that I was communicating with.
Right, right. And that's what I was trying to say. There is a disconnect. Your case was handed off. I'm now your attorney. So do me a favor. Can you put your phone number in the chat for me?
I could send, well, I guess.
Yeah, just go to the chat and send it and just send it to me on a direct message. Frank Gaither, PD Frank Gaither.
All right. So this case is going to be reset to the final plea calendar. Did you say, Mr. Gaither?
Or under these circumstances, can we put it on the next status calendar? Judge, I haven't even spoken to Mr. Langford yet.
That's why he's going to, he knows you, you know him now. You can both eyeball each other through Zoom.
Sure.
So you'll be having many conversations from this point.
That's correct.
This case was scheduled for a jury trial on April 11th, 2023.
Okay.
Would you still like to move forward with the jury trial or?
No, let's put on the phone. Give me a chance to talk to him, talk to the state.
And Mr. Langford, have you put in your phone number to Mr. Gaither?
Yes, and I have it. I do have his number.
Excellent. All right. This is going to be rescheduled for a final plea on October 5th at 1:30 p.m. And Mr. Langford, you would have to appear in court in person. So between now and October 5th, make sure you engage in conversations with your attorney, Mr. Frank Gaither. And if a plea offer is accepted, the documents all have to be ready before we move forward with the hearing. Thank you. You're free to go. Next case, Mr. Gaither.
Ms. Langford, yeah, respond to me real quick with your email address, then you're free to go, okay? And I'll call Orca. Okay. Judge, my next case is position 23, Mr. Jalen Massenberg.
All right, Massenberg.
Mr. Massenberg is not present with us, and he will not be. He was going to be. He lives in Detroit, Michigan. He was going to attend for his own.
Yeah.
He notified me yesterday that he was about to leave the federal custody.
He was what?
About to get arrested in federal. He's now in federal custody in Michigan. So if you can, before the court issues a bench warrant, at least let me have an opportunity to verify that, to show, at least try to track him down to see where he is.
Can I further notice to November 2nd?
That'd be perfect.
Status calendar.
What position is that?
Position 20, no, 23, I'm sorry.
And this is to determine if he is in
In
federal custody.
In federal custody in Michigan.
Glad to hear all these issues also just what happened in Georgia. So there we go. I think we've had enough drama for the last 2 weeks. All right, so what's your next week?
My last case, Judge, is position 25. And Gia Mincy. And I would like to have an opportunity to discuss the discovery with her. I was just able to share it with her just recently. And so I guess I'll just place this on the final calendar as well.
Is she on Zoom?
She should be.
Ms. Mitzi?
I'm here.
All right. And do you have your attorney, Frank Gaither's contact information?
Yes.
All right. This case is going to be reset for a final plea calendar. You need to appear in person. That's October 5th at 1:30 p.m.
And may I ask a favor, Your Honor? Can the state go and place on the record what their current offer is today?
Ms. Reiser or Ms. Gatea? Who was it?
That is mine, Your Honor.
Position 25.
Yes, the offer is DUI less safe, 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, the balance probated, a $600 fine, 40 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, risk reduction program, and 1 victim impact panel. The remaining charges will be null pros.
So the guilty to DUI, less safe, and then the rest will be budged or not.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last thing that you just said, John.
The rest will be non-crossed?
Correct.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge. I'm sure we'll be able to work this out at the final plea calendar.
all right, Ms. Mitzi, see you on October 5th. You're free to go. Thank you.
Question. Did she say I have to take a the DUI class?
It's called a risk reduction class. You have to attend and complete a victim impact panel and complete an alcohol and drug evaluation.
Because I know I took a class like 2 years ago and I
Doesn't
passed.
count. It doesn't count.
Miss Nancy, we'll talk. Miss Nancy, we'll talk. We'll talk.
All
Okay.
Next case, Ms. Plea.
Miss Nancy, you're free to go. We'll talk. I'll call you. That's all the cases I have, Judge.
Ms. Helen?
Good morning, Judge. I've got a few cases. Just let me know when the court's ready.
Ready?
Position 1, and I apologize, Judge. It sounds like you're in a tunnel a little bit, so it's kind of hard to hear you a little. But I have position 1, Mr. Caldwell. I did see him on Zoom. Mr. Caldwell?
Anthony Caldwell.
Yes, ma'am.
Caldwell.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, we're going to do a couple things today. I would like the state to put the offer on the record. Mr. Caldwell was incarcerated in DeKalb County for the last 3 court dates. This is my first time meeting him. So I just would like an opportunity for the state to put that offer on the record. I have I'm going to get his updated number, but I'd like for this to be reset to a status, just so I could enter in my appearance and give Mr. Caldwell all the discovery I have.
All right, Ms. Gipio? Is
Yes,
that your
Your Honor.
case? Can you put, when you put the offer in the chat to Miss Helen, and this case is going to be reset to a final plea calendar on October 5th at 1:30 p.m. And Mr. Caldwell will have to appear in court in person.
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Helen, you will receive the plea offer in the chat, which you can then relate to your client. Mr. Caldwell, please remember to keep in contact with Miss Helen so that you will have the status of your case and not miss her on the next court date.
Yes, ma'am. Could she send me her number in the chat so I can have her number?
So you have the chat feature, you put in your phone number and email and address to Miss Catrice Helen right now. Just look up her name on the participant list when you chat, okay? Thank you.
Yes.
Ms. Helen, next case?
Miss Helen, I will be put it in the chat. It's going to be the same offer I sent you on August 10th.
Sure.
All right, Ms. Helen, your next case?
My next case, Judge, is position 10, Mr. Benny Grissom. Mr. Grissom?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And Judge, he's appearing here on Zoom. Judge, we're going to ask for a pretrial for Mr. Grissom. We also had information that the alleged accuser is on the Zoom call. We just want to see if that individual is present. Kirk on the Zoom call?
I don't hear anyone responding. Your next case? This case is Mr. Grissom. Mr. Grissom, please remain on Zoom. You can mute the screen. And
Yes, ma'am.
your attorney is going to be talking to the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just hold, Miss Helen. Miss Watson Cafe, what's your announcement for your client?
She must be on.
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking to be placed on the trial calendar, please.
All right, and could you give me your client's name again?
Woodruff, his last name, Woodruff.
And what's that? Okay, so this is going to be a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So Ms. Woodruff, your case is going to be further notice to a jury trial calendar. We're going to generate a pre-hearing order today. And please make sure your address and contact information are current at all times. Did you hear it? Yes. Okay, you're free to go. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Watson Cafe. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Helen, beg your pardon, what was the next case?
Position 35, Miss Stevens, Quenisha Stevens, that's going to be a plea today. I just need that offer placed, well, not on the record. I just need the opportunity to fill out the plea paperwork or receive DocuSign from the state.
Would that be Miss Reiser?
Yes, Judge, I'll send every.
All right, Miss
The
Reiser.
DocuSign.
Okay,
Miss, we never went over the stipulations of it.
So we're gonna go over the details. I need them to receive the documents from them and I can give you the details. Do you have your phone on you, Miss Stevens?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I can give you those details as soon as I call you, okay?
Okay.
all right. Next case, Miss Helen?
Yes, Judge, position 40, Kayla Turner, Judge, I believe she's present on Zoom.
Yes.
I've entered in my appearance on July 10th, Judge, but I've received no body worn camera, no, I don't believe there's a police report or warrant that I've received in discovery, Judge. So we're gonna announce pretrial. I just want to hear the offer. I also want to sound for the alleged accuser in this case. I think it's a Mr. Turner, if he's present. Mr. Turner?
Okay,
He's present on Zoom. I'm not sure what's happening.
okay. So this one's also gonna be pre-trial?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Next case?
Next position is position 42, Judge, Miss Tanisha Williams, who I think is just waiting for me to speak to her in the hallway, Judge. That's gonna be our diversion offer. Yes,
Okay.
Judge.
All right. Are there any other attorneys on Zoom whom I've not addressed? Are there anyone? Okay. Is there anyone in the courtroom who walked in and has not been addressed by the court?
Oh, Judge, did we skip Mr. 44? That's my last position. Mr. Gabriel Jones?
Okay.
And Judge, he's present here on Zoom. That's going to be a non-negotiated plea.
All right.
And those are all of my positions, Judge.
All right, thank you. Again, I'm going to ask, is there anyone in the courtroom who appeared but has not been addressed by the court?
Stand up.
You have to stand up, sir, and tell me your name. Oh, ma'am, excuse me.
It's Barbie Nguyen.
W.
No, Barbie Nguyen, Nguyen.
Oh, Nguyen, okay.
Position 27.
27?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Nguyen, are you represented by counsel?
Yes, I have Mr. Bastian, but he is not here right now.
Your Honor, he is actually coming down from Superior Court.
Mr. Bastian?
Yes, I received a message from his assistant.
All right, Ms. Nguyen, your attorney is got another case this morning and I guess he's on his way here. So would you like to hold for him?
Wait for.
Yeah, you'll have to wait for him. Okay, thank you. All right, let me see.
And I apologize, Judge. I think we may have skipped one position of mine, position 26, DeMarcus Morgan. Did I already state that he was incarcerated in DeKalb County?
No, but is that what you want to tell me?
Yes, Judge. I just want to get an opportunity to get the proof of incarceration from DeKalb County, but his mother has already told me that he is incarcerated there. I'm just asking for this to be reset, maybe to a November calendar, potentially for him to get out.
Thank you. November 2nd at 9 a.m. status calendar. All right. Okay, oh, sorry, yes, your name, please?
Denise Powell.
Powell?
29.
And Ms. Powell, who's your attorney?
I don't have one.
Have you ever spoken to the public defender's office to see if you qualify for their services?
One time I did in another courtroom. And the lady was gonna get that with me, but I never heard it.
What was the name?
I don't know, she just, the lady in the court with the judge, and everybody can talk to. Speakers in the arm, that I,
But you didn't get her name.
no, man.
All right, this, one of our public defense attorneys will speak to you up here. And this is for position 29. All right, is there anyone on Zoom whom I've not addressed? So let me see. Mr. Chris Harris, have I addressed you? Chris Harris, the gentleman in the white sweatshirt?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, that's mine. That's the plea.
Okay. If I've not addressed anyone on Zoom, either through your counsel, then please put this little hand signal on your Zoom panel. You'll see it on my panel as well. It's under the option of reactions. And all you need to do is just raise hand and then unmute and let me know who you are. Baxter Ross, you need your video on and unmute. Baxter Ross. Can't hear you. Mr. Ross, you need to get your audio connected to your Zoom. I can't hear you at all.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Where's your, okay, who's your attorney?
I think I have a public defender, Your Honor. I don't have a paid attorney.
All right, so you're clearly being driven right now. So drive down to 136 Prior Street and you can come down and speak to the public defender right now. All right. It's 10:15 right now. I expect you here by 10:45.
I was actually on the way to work, but
Now call work and let them know you need to be in court.
that's why I was on Zoom. Okay, I will try to, but that's why I was
You're on
Zoom.
Zoom, but you don't have the ability to conduct your case on Zoom. You haven't spoken to an attorney, you don't have any documents. You haven't spoken to the prosecutor, so you need to be in court. We'll see you at 10:45. It's at 136 Prior Street, courtroom G33. See you soon. Please mute your screen. All right, anyone else whom I've not addressed on Zoom? Ms. Whitney Houston.
Good morning, Judge.
Okay. And Ms. Houston, who's your attorney?
Judge, I believe she is a conflict in her office. Let me double check that note.
She is, Judge. I just don't know who the attorney is.
Maybe she does. Ms. Houston, who's your attorney?
No one ever gave me an attorney. I sent them my paperwork on the 13th of July. I never received anything.
To whom did you send the paperwork?
Frank. Let me look at my.
Judge, she probably applied for our services, qualified, and I believe at the last calendar, we did announce that conflict counsel would need to be appointed.
All right, Ms. Houston, you will need to come down to the courthouse at 136 Prior Street. Wow. You can't appear via Zoom since you don't have an attorney. I expect you here by, how long will it take you?
About 40 minutes.
All right, we'll see you here at 10:55. Thank you. Position 14. Good job. All right, anyone else's case I've not addressed? Martin, Norris Martin.
Here.
Mr. Martin, you need your video on.
One moment. I have to leave meeting to restart to turn video back on.
Who's your attorney?
Rod Skiff.
Who?
Rod Skiff. I have to turn the camera back on. I have to leave meeting to turn the camera back on.
All right, just make sure you let us know you're back in the Zoom. Thank you. You're free to go, but make sure you come back within a few minutes. Anyone else whose name I've not addressed on Zoom?
Your Honor.
Yes.
I believe Was that Mr. Martin's case?
Yeah, he requested to speak to a public defender in the chat. Need to speak with public defender, Canoris Martin.
Who is this? Who is this?
Good morning, Judge.
I have a Brixton. Mr. Brixton, if you want to unmute. A gentleman in a very dark room. His name is Brixton. He's got some kind of cloth on his head. If you want to unmute and identify yourself. All right.
Yes, hello. Yes, I'm here. I'm trying to figure out this phone.
What's your name?
Bryson Smothers.
Smothers. And who's your attorney, Mr. Smothers?
It is, hold on. Let me get it.
Your Honor, Attorney Abbott, ABT, and he filed a notice of conflict.
All right. Mr. Smothers, it appears that your attorney was unable to make it to court. Your next court date is going to be October 5th at 1:30 p.m. And
Okay.
this is going to be in person.
Okay.
And please let your attorney know that this is for a final plea and he would need to contact the prosecutor to get all the information.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember, in person, no longer Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
See you then. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Canoris,
Yes, ma'am.
your full name?
Canaris Martin, Canaris Kano Martin.
He's position 21 and 22, Your Honor, and 22, the state sent us transfer, an order for transfer to Superior Court.
And what about position 21?
The state will keep that one.
Okay. Mr. Martin, you have two cases pending before state court. One is from 2021 with regards to obstruction of an officer and making an improper U-turn, 21 CR 4442F. Who's your attorney representing you in that case?
Rod Skiff, but he has a case today. I went and seen him yesterday out in LaGrange because we have
So you just hired him yesterday?
No, ma'am. We're working on another case. I'm preparing for trial in Meriwether County, so we're working both cases.
All right. And your second case in which you were charged with theft by conversion, that's going to be transferred to the Superior Court.
Let me note that.
And that's going to be a felony charge.
Can you repeat that, ma'am, so I can note it?
The solicitor's office is going to transfer the theft by conversion case to the Superior Court of Fulton County to be treated as a felony matter.
Theft by conversion moved to Superior.
All right. On the obstruction and making an improper U-turn, that's going to be reset to October 5th at 1:30 p.m. for a final plea.
1:30.
You and your attorney will have to appear in person.
And
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
Honor, before he leaves, I am not, there is no entry of appearance.
There is none.
No, there's not.
All right. So, Mr. Martin, Mr. Martin, let your attorney know that one case has been transferred to Superior Court, the theft by conversion. The obstruction charge is going to be reset for a final plea at 1:30 p.m. Everyone has to appear in person. Now, if Mr. Skiff is your attorney, he needs to file the appropriate entry of appearance.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And I'll see everyone in person on October 5th. Thank
October
you.
5th. Do you know when my the one that got moved to Superior? Do you know when that will be?
No, I mean, I'm going to sign the order today. So as soon as it's docketed with the Superior Court, that's when you'll be notified. But Mr. Skiff can look it up.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So am I set to go?
You're free to go. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Sabdas Turner. Are you waiting to speak to the court or do you have, no?
Judge, he's the alleged accuser in my case, Miss
Oh, I
Turner's
see.
case.
Okay. So are there any other defendants on Zoom whom I've not addressed? Okay,
Is it okay for me to leave?
No, Mr. Young, we haven't entered in a plea, so please stay on and mute yourself for me, please.
thank you, Ms. Ellen. All right. Counsel, I'm sorry, yes, sir.
Yeah, on number 27, Nugent, from the hearing, Superior Court.
27? Oh, okay. Yes, oh, Ms. Nguyen?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk with the state.
All right, so 27 is going to be a pre-trial. All right, thank you. Okay, let's see now. Ms. Rothman, are you available or is she in Judge Rader's court?
I am back, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We can put you in a breakout with Ms. Sarita Githier. Ms. Githier, the pre-trial cases I have are number 2, 6, 19, 10, 40, and 27.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think no, position 40 would be Ms. Reiser.
Okay. Position 40, I believe, is a PD case.
You're welcome.
And that is Ms. Helen's case. So she'll be talking to. Okay. Mr. Mario Gaviret Pena and counsel.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Ms. Reiser, will you be able to assist with the plea or is it something I missed?
Oh, wait, what's the,
Number 7.
oh, I don't have that. I believe Ms. Gutierrez is ready for that one. She can take that. I just don't have the paperwork on it.
All right. Where is counsel? Mr. Fajardo?
I'm here, Your Honor.
And I'm so sorry, I'm trying to find everyone's little panel here. Mr. Pena, is that the gentleman in the pink shirt?
Yes. I'm next to Garcia.
Okay, let's go ahead and rename Zoom user. Are you the gentleman in the pink shirt? Okay, got you. Okay, thank you. All right, this is State versus Mario Gaviret Pena, 21 CR 5621F, in which Mr. Mario Pena is appearing by Zoom. His case is one in which he's been accused of a DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, and violation of the divided highway or control access road use. This is stemming from the September 14, 2019 incident. Mr. Pena, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. Fajardo. And may I place you on the oath for purposes of the plea? Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Githier, what's the plea offer for Mr. Pena?
Yes, Your Honor. For DUI less safe, it is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, the balance probated, a $600 fine, 40 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, risk reduction program, 1 victim impact panel, and the remaining charge will be null pros.
Mr. Fajardo, are those the terms to which your client has agreed, and do you stipulate the factual basis, venue, and ID for the DUI charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Pena, have you consumed any alcohol or medication lately?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yeah.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Pena has been explained to you that if you enter a guilty plea to the DUI charge today, that you will be giving up your constitutional rights, which include the right to a trial, the right to be in court to confront your accuser, to have the assistance of counsel, to challenge the evidence brought against you, to examine witnesses, to present any mitigating factors if you choose to do so, as well as to have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you plead? One count of DUI, less safe.
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, balance probated. While you're on probation, you will pay a $600 fine, complete 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency, which is not a school and not a church. You will also submit to an alcohol and drug evaluation with a qualified provider and submit yourself to any treatment that's required. Attend and complete one victim impact panel and complete a risk reduction program. You will report to probation next Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. Please be sure to be there before 3 p.m. Once you're on probation, you will continue to report every month, even if you've completed all your conditions. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Is the days every Thursday or?
No, your first report date is next Thursday. After that, you and your probation officer will set up a monthly date and time.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Pena?
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Pardo, any questions?
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask for an affidavit of first conviction.
All right, he would need to surrender his driver's license, so that's something that y'all need to come down to court and do that. And once the affidavit is produced, it will be sent to the presiding judge.
He does not have his driver's license, Your Honor. That was surrendered years ago.
It was surrendered when?
At the time of arrest.
Okay. Due to the fact that this is via Zoom, you still have to come down to the clerk's office. It's going to be noted in the disposition that he's entitled to an affidavit of first arrest, but it needs to be filled out in person.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the clerk's office is at 130 Prior Street, J150 at 136 Prior Street.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Where do I have to report?
You have to
Thursday?
report. Make sure you write this down. You have to report next Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. You have it now?
Yeah.
All right.
That concludes my business, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Have a good day, Judge.
This is the position to sign that, Mr. Evans. And Ms. Smith, what did you want me to look at?
You said we can be excused, ma'am?
Yes, Mr. Pena, you're free to go. Thank you. All right, position 36, we have a plea. This is Damian Suggs with Mr. Levine. Any chance he's still on the Zoom? Yep, there he is.
Hey, good morning, Judge. And I don't know if my client has turned on his camera yet or not. I have.
All right, let me, Ms. Githier, is this your case as well?
That's mine, Your Honor.
There he is. Okay, got him. I'm so sorry. It's interesting time. Everyone on the same page on the Zoom. Okay. This is position 36. This is State versus Damian Suggs, case number 21 CR 007-524F. Is this your case, Ms. Rice?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Githier, can I put you in a breakout with Ms. Rothman? Yes. All right. If the host could please place Sarita Githier and Ms. Rothman in a breakout, please. Thank you. To resume this, this is State versus Suggs, case 21 CR 7524F. Mr. Suggs is appearing via Zoom with his attorney, Mr. Alan Levine. Mr. Suggs was accused of DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, reckless driving and failure to maintain lane, and obstructing an intersection. These 4 charges stem from a January 16, 2020 incident in Brooklyn County, Georgia. Mr. Suggs, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Levine. May I place you under oath?
Yes.
Yes, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Reiser?
Yes, Your Honor. State's recommended sentence to count 1 DUI less safe is 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day, balance probated, a $500 fine, 40 hours of community service, an alcohol drug evaluation, and any treatment if deemed necessary, 1 risk reduction, 1 victim impact panel. In regards to count 3, failure to maintain lane, the state's recommended sentence is 12 months of probation to run concurrent to count 1 DUI less safe. State has no objections to probation going non-reporting upon completion of the terms. Counts 2 and 4 will be null process as part of the negotiated agreement.
All right. Mr. Levine, are those the terms to which your client has agreed? And do you stipulate the factual basis, venue, and ID for the DUI less safe and failure to maintain lane?
Those are the terms, and we do so stipulate, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Suggs, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your counsel services?
Yes.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea today?
No.
Has it been explained to you that in entering this plea, you will be giving up your constitutional right to go back to a court of law to have a trial, to have the assistance of counsel so that you could challenge the evidence brought against you, challenge witnesses who are brought against you, confront your accuser, present any defenses, present any evidence to oppose the case, the charges brought against you, as well as have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol less safe?
Guilty.
How do you plead to 1 count of failure to maintain lane?
Guilty.
For the failure to maintain lane, your sentence is going to be 12 months probation, which will run concurrent. That means it will run at the same time as the sentence for the DUI charge. The sentence for the DUI charge is 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day. You will be on probation. You will report to the probation office next Thursday in person at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. And you must report next Thursday before 3 p.m. While on probation, you will pay a $500 fine, complete 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency, which is not a school and not a church. You will submit to an alcohol and drug evaluation with a qualified provider and submit yourself to any treatment that's required. You're also to complete 1 risk reduction program and attend 1 victim impact panel. Once you've completed all these conditions to the satisfaction of your probation officer, your probation may be non-reporting. Any questions, Mr. Levine?
Only, Judge, that we'd also ask for a certificate of first conviction as well, understanding that Mr. Suggs will have to come down and meet with the clerk.
That would be correct. And he will need to surrender his driver's license at the time of seeking the affidavit unless he has proof that he's already done so.
Understood, Judge.
Any further questions, Mr. Levine?
No, Your Honor.
Suggs, any question?
No.
All right, sir, you all have a good day. And Mr. Suggs, don't forget your date with probation next Thursday. Thank you, gentlemen. You all are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Do I give it to Ms. Smith or Ms. Evans? That has a lady product. All right. Position 13 for a plea. And this is Ms. Edmonds. Ms. Edmonds, by any chance, have you stepped up? We good?
I'm here, Your Honor.
And Mario Holloway? Mr. Holloway is present also.
Here, I'm here.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Just 1 second, please. Thank you. Okay, so sorry about that. This is State versus Mario Holloway, case number 21 CR 007577F. Mr. Holloway was originally accused of DUI, driving under influence of alcohol less safe, reckless driving, and following too closely. These 3 charges stem from a July 17, 2020 incident in Fulton County, Georgia. Mr. Holloway, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Catherine Edmonds. With regards to this particular case, this is going to be a negotiated plea. And Mr. Holloway, if you please step back from your video, I will need to see your right hand up so I can place you under oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Githier?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm back.
And your plea offer for Mr. Mario Holloway?
It is a DUI less safe will be null pros. For the reckless driving, 12 months probation, $500 fine, 40 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, risk reduction program and 1 victim impact panel. And the following 2 closely will merge.
Right. Thank you. Ms. Edmonds, does your client accept these terms for the remaining charge of reckless driving? And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do so stipulate the terms of the probation. The probation was, we discussed it terminating upon completion of all of the special conditions.
That is correct.
All right. All right. Mr. Holloway, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's services?
Yes.
And has anyone induced you or forced you to take this plea offer today?
No.
Mr. Holloway, you have discussed your case with your attorney, and in discussing your case, have you understood that you'll be waiving your right to a trial if you decide to enter this plea?
Yes.
Right, which means you'll be giving up your right to confront your accuser, examine witnesses, challenge the evidence brought against you, present any argument to the court or to the jury, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to the 1 count of reckless driving?
Yes.
Is that the plea that you discussed, Ms. Edmonds?
Your Honor, Mr. Holloway, we discussed you pleading nolo to the charge. Would you still like to plead nolo, or would you prefer to
Yes.
plead guilty?
I forgot, no low, I forgot.
Okay, well, next time, or, never forget, because you can only enter a nolo contendere once every 5 years, and it saves you 6 points off your driving history.
Okay, yes,
Very
I like,
important thing not to forget, okay? I'll accept your nolo or nolo contendere plea to the reckless driving charge. The sentence is 12 months to be on probation. You will report to probation next Thursday at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. You must report next Thursday before 3 p.m. While on probation, you will pay a $500 fine, complete 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency, which is not a school and not a church. You will also submit to a healthcare provider for an alcohol and drug evaluation and complete any treatment that's required at your expense. In addition to the conditions, you'll also attend and complete one victim impact panel and complete a risk reduction program. Once you've completed all these conditions, your probation will terminate.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Anything else, Ms. Edmonds?
No, Your Honor, that concludes my business before the court. May I be excused?
Ms. Edmonds, thank you very much. And also thank you for waiting. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
Okay,
All right, Mr. Holloway, don't forget to report next Thursday, okay?
okay, I will not. I wrote it down.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Smith, will you be talking so they go to Ms. Whoever fills them out has to sign them on the front. Oh, here's the cover, sorry. Okay. Next position I have is position 30.
Oh, Your Honor, I'm sorry, before we go to position 30, Ms. Rothman and I did pre-try position number 2.
Okay, and what's the status?
Your Honor, if we could be placed on the final plea calendar, we have some negotiations still to do with the state and to go over some things, but if we could be placed on the final plea calendar.
This is reset to the final plea calendar, October 5th at 1:30 p.m. And this will be an in-person matter, not Zoom. So if the plea is negotiated and accepted, please make sure the documents are ready for the plea hearing at that time. Thank you, Ms. Rothman.
Will,
All right.
thank you, Your Honor. Be
You're welcome.
excused.
And Ms. Clements, you're free to go as well. Please speak to your.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, position number 30, I believe, and that is Devontae Reed. Attorney, was that Ms. Rosenhuber or Ms. Helen?
But Devontae Reed, Your Honor?
Yes.
I have
Yes.
Sarah, Ms. Rosenhuber.
Here, Judge. Okay. Mr. Haddad, who was your client?
Judges, position number 11, Chris Harris.
Okay, that one's next.
Okay.
And Judge, before we move on to the next plea, we did speak with position number 29, Miss Denise Powell, and she does qualify for our services. I plan to file an entry of appearance in her case, and if we could just get whatever the next status calendar is, please.
The next status calendar is November 2nd at 9 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Powell?
Can be excused.
She here?
Yes, she's right here, Judge. Right. And I'll reach out to you, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Okay, this is state versus, where's Mr. Reed? I just lost him off Zoom.
I see him, Judge. He doesn't have his camera turned on. Oh, there he goes.
All right, this is state versus Devontae Rashid Reed, case number 21 CR 001623B. Don't have this paper. Oh, here, sorry. Everything. All right. So, Mr. Reed is charged with simple battery from a December 4th, 2020 incident. Mr. Reed, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Sarah Rosenhuber. We are going to take a negotiated plea hearing. May I place you under oath, please? Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
You put your hand down. Ms. Githier, what's the plea offer for Mr. Reed?
For the charge of simple battery, it is 12 months to serve 1 day. Credit for time served 1 day. The balance probated. 6 anger management classes to be taken at a place approved by probation. No further contact with the victim, Ayana Albino, and to stay away from 2530 Flat Shoals Road, located in South Fulton.
Ms. Rosenhuber, does your client agree to those terms? And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do stipulate to all of those things, Judge, and Ms. Githier and I did discuss, and we'd like for this to be added to the plea paperwork, that we agreed that Mr. Reed's probation shall be terminated upon completion of all of the conditions.
That is correct.
All right. Mr. Reed, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes.
And are you satisfied with your attorney services?
Yes.
And is anyone forcing you to take this plea today?
No.
Has it been explained to you that if you decide to enter a guilty plea, that will close this case out? There will be no appeal, no subsequent hearings, and you will be placed on probation. Has that been explained to you?
Yes.
Explain that you'll also be giving up your right to a trial, to go back to court, have the assistance of counsel, to confront your accuser, challenge the charges and evidence brought against you, examine witnesses, present any arguments in support of your defenses, as well as have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to 1 count of simple battery?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day. The remainder of the time you will be on probation. You will report to probation next Thursday at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta, and you must report next Thursday before 3 p.m. While on probation, you will complete 6 anger management classes. Please be sure that the school where you attend these classes have been pre-qualified by your probation officer. Understood?
Yes.
You will also have no contact with Ayana Albino, which means you stay 200 yards away from her. You do not communicate with her in any way, form, or manner, including in person, through a phone or computer, through social media, or even through a third party. And you have to stay 200 yards away from 2530 Flat Shoals Road in South Fulton, Georgia. Once you've completed all the conditions, which is primarily the anger management classes, so the parties agreed to termination as opposed to non-reporting. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, and probation will terminate on completion of the anger management classes. Now, once your probation terminates, and if Miss Albino still doesn't want to have any contact with you, I hope you respect that. Otherwise, we may be doing this all over again.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Don't forget your report date of next Thursday.
Thank you, Judge. And Mr. Reed, I did send you that probation paperwork. If you could just email that back to me so I can get that to the litigation managers, please.
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you, Judge.
I can go.
Okay, he's here. Good.
You're free to go, Mr. Reed. Just get me that probation sheet, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Ross is present and he will need to confer with one of our PDs.
I'll get him an application, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, position number 11 with Mr. Attorney Jawan Hadar. And this is for Christopher Harris. who's been waiting very, very patiently. Thank you very much, Mr. Harris. Ms. Harris, can you do just a testing 1, 2, 3?
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. Perfect. All right. This is State versus Christopher Harris. Christopher with a K. Case number 19 CR 8421. Mr. Harris was originally accused of 2 counts of battery, family violence from October 7th, 2019. Mr. Harris, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. You ready?
We're ready, Judge. Thank you.
All right. One of Mr. Harris was repositioning himself. Okay. Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Ms. Githier, do you have your plea offer for Mr. Harris?
Yes, Your Honor. On both counts of battery family violence, it is 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, balance probated, to attend a family violence intervention program, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, and no further violent contact with the victim, Richard Harris.
And Your Honor, we stipulate as to venue, identity, and fact.
Factual basis?
Yes, Judge, factual basis. The only change, it's not really change, but I need to put it on the record, is my client, after this case, after this arrest, he was arrested in 2020 on another family violence battery. He took the family violence intervention program and completed it. The state is in agreement, is okay with not having him to take it again if he brings proof to probation. So as long as he brings proof to probation that he's completed the FVIP, then he is not required to take it a second time. And this is a situation, it's not like he was on probation and then got rearrested. These 2 arrests happened, fairly close in time, Judge. But we're not getting around to resolving this case, Judge.
This was, just one second.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
This case was on October 7th, 2019. And what was the date of arrest for the case in which he did the FVIP?
Judge, that was a Coweta County case, and I apologize. I don't have the exact date. It was in 2020. If you give me a couple of minutes, I can find it online as to when.
Or if Mr. Harris knows, that would help.
I just know that I don't think it was quite 2020. I think it was the beginning of 2021.
That very well may be, Judge. I apologize. But I know when I looked it up yesterday, he was sentenced in February of 2021 in Coweta. And on the sentence, there's a FVIP. I don't have actual documentation. I can only look at the images. But what I had discussed with Ms. Githier is as long as my client did in fact complete it, he says he did, but I don't have proof. But as long as he can bring proof that he's completed that, he does not have to take a FVIP again, Judge.
That is correct, Your Honor, provided we have proof and it is subsequent. That incident was subsequent to the instant case.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. What was the incident date? And then and also the other one I'm curious about is what was the conviction?
Judge, it was a battery of family violence involving another family member, not the same. I believe it was his mother, Judge. My client, just so the court is aware, was struggling with substance abuse, and he has since cleaned. I mean, he's doing really well, which is one of the reasons why the prosecutor's asking for another evaluation, and I completely understand that, Judge. Obviously, that is proper. The charge was subsequent to this one. That I know, as as an officer of the court, I don't have the exact dates, Judge, but and I understand what the prosecutor is saying. I don't think that's really an issue. It happened subsequent to this case. The arrests, the plea, and the FVIP sentence, Judge, but it was a Coweta County case, Judge.
My other concern is Mr. Harris already has, at least that I know of, the 2021 conviction for battery family violence. And now if this hearing goes forward, he would be adding 2 more convictions of battery family violence on his record. Is he, has that been explained to him?
It has, Judge, and the state initially, just as background, and when we were in court last time, Judge, they requested to look into as far as prosecution as the DA's office, but because the way it happened, had, for example, had he had a prior conviction prior to this plea, I mean, in terms of arrest, this would have been a felony, but the way things had worked out, in some ways, he kind of got a break from a legal standpoint in terms of the treatment in state court versus felony. But he is aware that normally a second family violence battery is considered a felony. Regardless, if he were to be charged a third time, that third time would really count as a felony automatically, Judge. So I had informed him of that, and he was aware of that, Judge.
So, Mr. Harris, I need you to understand that if I accept the plea today, any subsequent arrest for battery, family violence, or a similar offense will automatically be a felony charge. It will no longer be a misdemeanor charge. If I accept your plea today, well, actually, even just based on your prior conviction, any subsequent arrest for such a similar offense will automatically be a felony charge.
Yes, ma'am.
Given this information, are you still willing to proceed freely and voluntarily with this plea hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
Not at all.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's services?
Yes, ma'am.
And has anyone induced you or forced you or given you false information to enter such a plea today?
Not at all.
And Mr. Harris, if you decide to enter a guilty plea to these 2 charges today, you'll be waiving your right to have a trial before a judge or a jury. You'll be waiving your right to have your assistance of counsel so that you can confront your accuser, challenge the witnesses and the evidence that will be brought against you, to have the ability to present any defenses if you choose to do so, present any arguments, or have the state try to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You will be giving these rights. Are you prepared to do so?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you doing so freely, willingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand there's no right to appeal from this case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How do you plead to 2 counts of battery, family violence stemming from the October 7th, 2019 incident?
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be, for both counts, is going to be concurrent. It's going to be 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days. The remainder of the time you'll be on probation. You'll be on active probation for the rest of the time, which will be in Fulton County. Your first report date is next Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. If you submit proof that you have completed the 24-week domestic violence intervention program at a qualified school, and you have a certificate to prove such a completion, your probation officer is authorized to accept it and consider that the satisfaction of the FBIT condition. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, if I may, I just wanted to clear up. So my client was arrested. I looked it up. September 1st of 2020. That was the Coweta County incident date. The case number is 20 CR 1927, and he entered a plea February the 23rd of 2021. Just so the court is aware.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Haddad.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, as I was saying, with regards to the domestic violence intervention program, we call that FVIP or DVIP. Mr. Harris will need to produce the certificate from a qualified school that he has completed the 24-week program. Mr. Harris, I'm going to put a time frame on the production of this certificate. I'm going to give you 60 days. That's 2 months to produce that certificate to probation. If probation does not receive that certificate within 60 days from today, we will enroll and begin another domestic violence program. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And if you don't produce that certificate, you have to enroll in that domestic violence intervention program within 90 days from today. Do you have any questions?
Good.
Also, to complete an alcohol and drug evaluation and submit yourself to any treatment and counseling that's required. You're to be compliant with all medication and treatment that you are currently receiving. You can put your leg down, sir. That's not how we sit in courtroom. Thank you. And you are to be compliant with all medication and treatment that you are currently undergoing. You are to have no further violent contact with Richard Harris, which means there cannot be any physical or verbal altercation with Mr. Richard Harris. If there is any subsequent arrest involving Mr. Harris, as you know, the consequences can be very, very serious, including felony charges, as well as revoking probation, so that you serve out the rest of your time in prison. You understand, Mr. Harris? Okay. Any questions, Mr. Haddad?
No, thank you, Judge. Thank you. Can Mr. Harris be excused, Judge?
He is. As long as he understands his report date and time.
Yes,
All
Judge.
right.
I'll be in touch with them as well. Thank you.
All right. This is the law cost for that case. Mr. Harris. I have position 35. Is counsel back? Yes, from Ms. Went? No?
Judge, I do have a brief announcement.
Go ahead.
Position number 31, Mr. Baxter Ross, he appeared in person in court. He does qualify for our services. I'll be filing an entry of appearance and requesting discovery. We would just ask for the next available status calendar.
This is a hit and run and failure to report to the scene of the accident. I'm going to put it on a final plea calendar for October 5th. And this was from March 9th, 2021. So it's been more than 2 years.
Okay.
October 5th, and this is a final plea calendar.
Okay.
At 1:30 p.m.
Thank you.
Ross, please stand up, sir. All right, your attorney is the Public Defense Counsel, Ms. Rosenhuber. You have the contact information?
I'm about to hit it, Judge.
Okay. You're coming back to court for a final plea matter on October 5th. All right, it would be very helpful if you get information from your insurance company as to whether any damages that were filed by the other party, if that has been resolved. Do you understand? It will also be very helpful if you bring your motor vehicle record for the last 5 years. All right? Do you know how to get your motor vehicle record?
DMV.
At Department of Driver Services, not the Department of Motor Vehicle, Department of Driver Services, and they have a website. You can order your motor vehicle record by just using your license number. All right. What are the 2 things you need? Insurance letter, record, 5 years. Do you need to write that down? And not Zoom, in person. You understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Judge. I apologize for interrupting you. I do have some updates whenever the court is ready for those.
Okay, let me just take position 35 first. Kenisa Stevens.
Oh, that's my case, Judge.
Okay, all right, since I've got you then, Mr. Ross, you're free to go once you get the information. All right. Kenisa Stevens.
And she's present on Zoom, Judge.
I just want to make sure I have her,
And my apologies, Your Honor. You asked him to provide proof of insurance, and what was the other?
5-year motor vehicle record.
Okay.
Then y'all can hash it out on October 5th, or hopefully before then.
Okay, thank you.
I just emailed it, Judge, a couple minutes ago.
For which position?
35.
35. Miss Wen, your attorney is still upstairs, right? And did you send the DocuSign to Miss Counsel? Guy's name for Miss Wen.
I believe Ms. Githia had sent. Ms. Githia, did you send plea documents for Barbie Wynn's case?
Checking, I have not, no plea documents on that position.
Okay. Oh, I think they're still waiting to pre-try, Your Honor.
Yes, yes.
And Judge, to add to the list of pleas that I think we're ready on, position number 19, Mr. Byron Lawrence, we have submitted those DocuSign documents and we'll be ready whenever the court is.
Position 19?
Position 19.
Okay, so we're just waiting on documents for position 35, possibly position 44 and position 19. I've got an Ashton Hayes also ready for a plea, is that correct?
That's from yesterday, I think.
That's from yesterday?
Mhm.
Okay, this is. Yeah, tomorrow, that one. All right. So, Miss Helen? I've got paperwork for Miss Kenisa Stevens. What were your other announcements?
Yes, Judge. So Ms. Stevens will be the plea that we're about to take now. We just had to update and make sure it was written in on her plea that it's balanced terminated upon completion of terms.
I will add that in.
Thank you, Judge.
Y'all agree.
The next position, position 42, I'm just still waiting to get the diversion paperwork to sign off for Miss Williams, position 42. She agrees. And so that'll probably just be reset to another compliance calendar.
42. Demetria Williams, was she in the courtroom?
Yes, Judge.
Was there a problem trying to get the paperwork signed off?
I just haven't received it yet. If Ms. Githia could send me, or whoever has position 42 could send me the diversion paperwork.
Yes, I'll send, Mr. Stevens will send it over.
Okay. And then position 44, Judge, that's going to be a non-negotiated plea. So as soon as we get through the other pleas, I think we'll be ready to take that one, position 44, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Williams, I understand, Ms. Williams?
Ms. Williams, stand up.
Ms. Williams, yeah. It appears that your attorney is going to go with the diversion. Is she accepting the program? Have you at least had a?
Yes, Judge. She stepped out earlier. We spoke. She does agree to the terms of the diversion, which are 8 days of anger management, just going by no longer.
8 anger management classes?
It should be 8 anger management classes as approved through probation.
Okay, sure.
All right. So basically it'll be weekly classes. Right.
Yes, Judge.
Normally 1-day classes here. Is Mr. Williams, is that what your attorney explained to you? Okay. So her next court date is going to be October 5th at 1:30 p.m. It's the final plea calendar, but it's for her, it will be for diversion compliance.
And is that in person, Judge, or on Zoom?
It can be via Zoom.
Understood, Judge.
But so if you have completed the anger management classes, and you submit proof to Miss Helen. Only Miss Helen needs to come back to court and say she's done.
Sure.
Okay? All right, but you need to complete them. But if you're still work in progress, you need to come back to court. All right? All right. Anything else, Ms. Williams? There you go. Thank you. Don't forget your attorney's name and email. Patrice Helen. Did you get her phone number?
Yeah, she should have my Google number.
That in favorites list. All right, thank you. Any other updates, Mr. Helen?
Yes, Judge, for position 10, I am asking for that case, if Mr. Grissom can come back on so he can hear and be seen.
Which one, which one?
That's position 10 on the status calendar, Your Honor, Benny Grissom.
10. Benny Grissom, where was
Yes,
he?
ma'am.
Judge, we're going to request a jury trial and have this case to be placed on a jury trial calendar.
Okay. Position number 10 is going to be further notice for a jury trial. We're going to issue a pre-trial order. All right, Mr. Grissom, the case will be scheduled for jury trial. Please be sure that you keep in communication with your attorney. And when you get the summons to appear for trial, please make sure you appear in person, not Zoom.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
And the very last, I think I announced it, but for position 44, we're ready for a non-negotiated plea. I guess we'll take that after
Yes.
position 35, Judge.
That would be correct. Yeah. As soon as I get the paperwork for it as well. Okay. All right, Mr. Grissom, you can, okay, thank you.
And I apologize, Judge, since it's non-negotiated.
Oh, that's, yeah. But you still need to go over the paperwork with him. So have you done so?
No, Judge, we haven't defined the terms yet. So I was gonna, as soon as we agree on the terms, I was gonna fill out my own plea paperwork and submit it to the court.
Okay,
And then review it also with Mr. Young.
so we're gonna hold off on 44 until all that is done.
Correct, Judge.
Okay. Position number 35, State versus Quinicia Stevens. Where is she? She is.
You what? Oh, there she is, Judge, right on Zoom.
Ms. Stevens is accused of theft by shoplifting in case number 21 CR 006933F. Ms. Stevens, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Patrice Helen. With regards to this particular case, this is going to be a negotiated plea hearing. May I place you under oath? Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Yolanda? Miss, is it?
I did that one, Your Honor.
Ms. Reiser?
Yes, Judge. She'll be entering a guilty plea to 1 count of theft by shoplifting. The state's recommended sentence is 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day, balance probated, 1 anti-theft class as approved through probation, 40 hours of community service, and a stay away from Walmart. The state is agreeable once she completes those conditions to terminate her probation.
All right.
And Judge, that is our understanding of the plea, especially the termination after conditions complete. And we just ask this court to accept the plea as negotiated.
You stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do so stipulate, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Stevens, have you consumed any medication or alcohol?
No.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you and induced you to take a plea offer today?
No.
Has your attorney explained to you that if you plead guilty to theft by shoplifting, that it will go on your conviction record?
Yes.
And if you have 3 or more theft by shoplifting convictions, any subsequent arrest will be a felony charge.
Yes.
Are you still prepared to enter a plea today?
Yes.
In doing so, you will have to give up your constitutional right to have a trial in front of a judge or a jury. During the course of that trial, you will also have to give up at that trial, you will not have the opportunity to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, challenge witnesses who testify against you or examine such witnesses, to confront your accuser, to present any defenses, and have the state try to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
Or do you plead to one count of theft by shoplifting?
Guilty.
The sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day. The remainder of the time you'll be on probation. You report to probation next Thursday. The probation office is at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. And please be there before 3 p.m. next Thursday. While you're on probation, you will complete one anti-theft class and 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency, which is not a school and not a church. You're also to stay away from all Walmart stores. Once your conditions are completed, your probation will terminate. Do you have any questions, Ms. Stevens?
No.
Don't forget your report date for next Thursday at probation. And that completes this hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. And I just need a couple minutes to speak to Mr. Young, and I think we may be prepared to do that plea, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, we're also ready on position 19, Mr. Lawrence.
Okay.
You got the paper, right? Beautiful.
Who's counsel for position 19?
Ms. Rosenberg. Did you talk with Ms. Githia? Okay, Ms. Githia, can you please call Mr. Defense Counsel on Ms. Nguyen?
No, not position.
You're muted, Ms. Githia.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I will call now.
Position 27.
Yes.
All right.
Would you like to take?
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes, it is.
Would you please come to the podium, sir? Thank you. This is State versus Byron, middle initial R, Lawrence, case number 21 CR 6404M. Mr. Lawrence, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Ms. Sarah Rosenhuber. This is an accusation stemming from January 5th, 2020 in Fulton County, Georgia, in which you were accused of DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, driving under the influence of alcohol per se, failure to maintain lane or improper lane change, and reckless driving. You've been advised of your right to remain silent, and may I place you under oath for purposes of the plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Reiser?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lawrence is going to be entering a guilty plea to one count of DUI alcohol per se. The state's recommended sentence is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, balance on probation, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, an alcohol drug evaluation and treatment if deemed necessary, 1 risk reduction, and 1 victim impact panel. As part of the negotiated plea, the remaining charges will be null prost, and the state has no objection to non-reporting after conditions are complete.
Just to clarify, I'm just amending it on here. So the only charge to which he's pleading is DUI less safe. The remainder 3 charges are going to be null prost.
I have a DUI per se.
Oh, I'm sorry, DUI per se. Okay, make sure I cross out the one. The only charge to which he's pleading guilty is DUI per se.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Sorry about that. Just want to make sure I make a note of that. Okay. Ms. Rosenhuber, does your client accept those terms? And do you stipulate to the factual basis venue and ID for DUI per se?
Yes, Judge, we do stipulate. The only other things that I want to put on the record is that we are asking for a certificate of first conviction in this case. This is Mr. Lawrence's first ever DUI charge. And also, Judge, though it wasn't part of the negotiated terms, we would ask the court to waive probation fees for the first 3 months. This is going to be a bit of a hardship for Mr. Lawrence, and we would ask the court to do that. Thank you.
Is he employed?
He is not right now, Judge.
Right, I'll waive probation fees for the first 3 months.
Thank you.
So it will be September, October, November. Okay, through November. What's November 30th or 31st? No, 30th. No, shoot, it's 30th. Okay. All right. Mr. Lawrence, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No.
And have you understood the proceedings so far? You understand that you're pleading guilty to one charge of DUI per se? And that this will be a first and lifetime DUI conviction on your record?
Yes.
And we shall keep it that way, right? Because any subsequent DUI convictions, the penalties get a lot more expensive and a lot more intense. All right. Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes.
And has anyone forced you or induced you to take a guilty plea today? No. And as I'm going to explain to you that if I accept a guilty plea, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, giving up the right to go back to court, confront your accuser, examine witnesses, challenge the evidence that could be brought against you, present any defenses you may have, and have the state try to prove the charge against you or the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes.
So you're prepared to give up these rights? Are you doing so freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes.
How do you plead to one count of DUI under the influence of alcohol per se?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day. The remainder of the time you'll be on probation. You report next Thursday at the probation office at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. Report before 3 p.m. While on probation, you will pay a $300 fine. You will complete 40 hours of volunteering with community service at any nonprofit agency, which is not a school and not a church. Submit to an alcohol and drug evaluation with an approved healthcare provider, and you must accept any treatment or counseling that they recommend, and it will be at your expense. Attend and complete one victim impact panel and complete a risk reduction course. The remaining charges will be closed out, or what we call null crossed. And if you complete all of these conditions, the fine, any additional charges, community service, alcohol and drug evaluation, risk reduction, and the victim impact panel, your probation will be non-reported. All right. Confirm that all conditions are completed before you start reporting.
Okay.
Right. I'll grant a certificate of first conviction. You would have to go to the clerk's office, surrender your license, and then fill out a certificate of first conviction. Any questions, Mr. Lawrence?
No.
No, thank you, Judge. Thank you.
All right, I have one. Miss Helen, are we, okay, we're still waiting on the non-negotiated fee.
Thanks, Betty, on that.
I'm just waiting for Miss Helen to send in the documents. position 19, 44, excuse me, 44.
Okay, I didn't send her any documents.
Non-negotiable?
Yeah, because it's not negotiated, but you can send. Do I need to send her anything?
If you want, you can send her a blank clean sheet so she can have something to go over with her client.
All right. Yeah, just send her a blank plea packet via email.
Ms. Wilson, have you addressed all the cases that you had?
We have, Judge.
Did Mr. Gaither, was he talking to Sophia? So
He stepped out, Judge. He wasn't feeling well, so I am the PD here for the remainder of the court date.
If I may, Your Honor, I just sent Mr. Bastian the plea documents through DocuSign. You see it back in the courtroom?
Are they there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you should have them now.
And position 27 to the list of pleas. And Ms. Githia, and Ms. Weiser, y'all have pre-tried all the cases?
I believe we have.
Okay. All right, while we're waiting for Mr. Bastian, no problem. I'm just going to go over the calendar with all the attorneys, all the lead. Don't know. It's Helen's busy. Got on.
I can take notes for us as well, Judge. Yeah.
Did we address position number 20?
Arias Lawson.
No, because no one's appeared on that one.
Oh, and I have a Mr. King as counsel. Oh, okay. So let's go around the calendar and see who showed up, who answered, who then, so forth. Position number 1, Anthony Caldwell. That's going to be a final plea on October 5th in person. All final pleas are in person, okay? Position 2, Clemens is reset to final plea in October 5th. Position 3 is further notice for a jury trial. Position 4, Curry is a final plea October 5th. Position 5 is motions calendar, November 16th at 9 a.m. in person. Position 6, Gates is further notice jury trial. 7 was a plea. 8 is reset November 2nd, 9 a.m. status calendar. Position 9, Lamelvin Gray. Lamelvin Gray. I do not have anyone who announced present, and I don't see an attorney who's filed it into appearance.
The state requests a bench warrant, Your Honor, and I may also note that he failed to appear on October 21st, 2022, June 9th, 2023, and May 5th, 2023.
A bench warrant to issue $1,000 on each count. This will be a total $2,000 surety bond. Position 10, Grissom is further notice for a jury trial. 11, Harris is a plea. Position 12, Garrett Hinton is a reset for a final plea, October 5th. 13, Holloway was a plea. 14, Whitney Houston.
She was the conflict client, Judge.
She's here. Miss Houston is in the courtroom. Right, Miss Houston, do you have an attorney?
No, that's why you told me.
All right,
That's all you told me for me.
all right, we have Miss Sarah Rosenhuber.
So Judge, she has already qualified for the public defender's office. The issue was that either we represent a co-defendant or a victim. I don't know the exact reason behind the conflict. For whatever reason, conflict counsel must not have reached out to her yet or filed an entry. I know I hate to put Mr. Bastian on the spot. I know that he's a C3 attorney. If he has some contact information he could give her or knows who may be assigned to her. But I can't speak to her about her case.
I'll ask him once he's okay. And after that, I'll direct her to the clerk's office.
Judge, we represent there's a co-defendant involved, Judge, so we are handling the co-defendant's case. That's why we conflicted out of Ms. Houston's.
Understood, thank you.
And that would be Quinisa Stevens, who just entered a plea a few minutes ago, I think, with Ms. Helen.
Okay, thank you. Miss Whitney Houston, first of all, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Do not discuss the facts of the case, wait till you have counsel to represent you, all right? I understand that Ms. Stevens is a co-defendant in your case, and she has already just pled guilty to that matter, and that case is closed. Okay? However, she was represented by the public defender's office, which is what this attorney is. So for you to get appointed counsel, you would need to get what we call conflict attorney.
Yeah, that's what they told me last time when I came to court on July 13th. The judge promised me somebody will reach out to me. Because every time it's the same. Every time I come to
Judge Osby, that must have been like 3-4 years ago.
no, the judge on July 13th.
She was here on July 13th. That may have been Judge Morrow.
Okay.
I'm not sure what his name was.
Was it a man or a woman?
It was a man.
All right. Ms. Houston, we're going to have to get a conflict appointed counsel. We have the clerk's office on the first floor where you will go up there and you will say Judge Law. Don't forget that name.
Judge Law.
L-A-L-L. It's not law, it's law. L-A-L-L. Lots of L's. Has directed you to go up there because you need a conflict attorney. You understand? If you'd like to remain in the courtroom, I can ask that gentleman there also, who is also appointed conflict counsel. He is willing to take on, but he's right now busy with another case. So you have to wait and see, okay?
Set the format.
All right, so we are holding on Ms. Houston, which is position 14. Position 15, Ingram, is reset October 5th for a final plea. 16, Cavill is reset October 5th for final plea. 17, King, October 5th, final plea. 18, October 5th, final plea. 19, Lawrence was a plea. 20 is Lawson is null crossed. 21, Martin is reset final plea October 5th. 22 is transferred to Superior Court. 23, Massenberg is further notice to November.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could you go back to position 20? I do apologize.
Yeah, Lawson, Sarius Lawson.
Neither her attorney nor the defendant appeared. The state would request a bench.
Oh, was that a null cross? I thought it was null cross. Or not present.
No, that was position 40, I believe.
Yeah, so Lawson, neither attorney nor client appeared. What would you like to do?
The state requests a bench warrant, Your Honor. I have been in communication with Mr. King, and he was aware of today's hearing.
Okay, bench warrant is granted. It's a $2,000 surety bond. Okay, sorry about that. Moving on, we okay with 21, 22, and 23?
If you could repeat those, that would be great.
21, Martin is reset final plea October 5th. 22 is transferred to Superior Court. The order has been signed. 23, Massenburg is further notice to November 2nd status calendar to determine if Mr. Massenburg is in federal custody. 24, Angela Mayville is reset to October 5th for compliance with diversion. Again, Ms. Rosenhuber, if you have compliance, if you just want to report, she doesn't need to appear.
Great, thank you, Judge.
25, Anisha Mincy is reset October 5th for final plea. Morgan is reset November 2nd status calendar. Latest update, still incarcerated in DeKalb. 27 is, I presume it's going to be a plea with Mr. Bastian and Ms. Gwen.
Yeah, well,
All right. If you and your client would like to come forward to the podium right here. 28, Pacheco is null cross. All in agreement?
Yes.
29 is reset November 2nd status calendar. 30, Reed is a plea. 31 is reset for final plea October 5th. 32 and 33, Salter, reset final plea October 5th. 34, Smothers is October 5th, final plea. 35, Stevens is a plea. 36 is a plea. 37 is a duplicate, so that's 37 shouldn't even be there. 38, Swanson is reset final plea October 5th. 39, Frost is a reset final plea October 5th. 40, Turner. Kayla Turner, that was Miss Helen's case with them.
Your Honor, I sent the offer over to Ms. Helen. I don't think that'll be a plea today.
Let's find out what's going on. Ms. Helen, if you're present, we're still inquiring about position 40. Position 41 is a null cross unless anyone objects. 42, Williams is reset October 5th final plea. Actually, it's a compliance with diversion. 43 is further notice for jury trial. 44, Xavier Young is going to be a non-negotiated plea. All right, moving back to position 27. State versus Barbie C. Nguyen, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Case number 21 CR 0078, 287F. Ms. Nguyen is present with her attorney, Mr. Bastian, and Ms. Nguyen, you have the right to remain silent about the fact of the case. Any statements you make, your statement 10 and will be again. This is going to be a negotiated plea hearing. Bastian, have you and your client signed up? Oh, I guess now we use it as a DocuSign for document.
we have, Your Honor, and part of it, I think there's a part for Your Honor's signature that I might have inadvertently consented to with express permission. I just withdraw that part.
That's fine.
Okay.
And but more importantly, has it been
Yes,
forwarded? So,
yes, sign in for it
okay.
and accept it.
Hey, Judge, we're ready on Mr. Xavier Young whenever the court's ready.
Repeat that, please.
We're ready on position 44, I believe, Mr. Young, whenever the court's ready.
Okay, I still have to print up the plea documents for that.
Oh, understood, Judge. Give me 1 second.
And then we are also inquiring about Turner. She's on the Zoom.
Yes, Judge.
Position 40.
I'm speaking to Miss Turner at the moment.
Okay.
I just need probably 5 more minutes with Miss Turner.
All right, thank you. Do you see the plea document? She sent it to state court.
She would have sent it to state court.
Hey. I just also want to make sure Mr. Turner, Davis, I hope I'm pronouncing it correct, Judge. Is Mr. Turner still on the line? Because I think I'm almost ready with Ms. Turner's case.
The only other Turner we have is position number.
Oh, no, he's there, right on the Zoom call. Mr. Turner, you still there?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, Judge, can we call that case next right here, Ms. Turner?
I'm sorry, Miss Helen.
I'm sorry, can we call the next case, Ms. Turner's case? I think I want to do that one.
Position 40,
Yes, Judge.
Kayla Turner.
Yes, Judge.
Kayla Turner, please start your video. Are you Mr. Kayla Turner? Mr. Turner, can you hear me? Kayla Turner is a female and she's on a separate Zoom. That's position 40.
Yes,
I don't know who Sabda is. Sabda's a Turner a victim?
No, Judge, that is the alleged husband. I think they're still married to Miss Kayla Turner.
Miss Kayla Turner is busy talking to somebody else. So I don't know if you even pay attention to the Zoom. So what would you like to do with Kayla Turner's case? All right,
if you talking to me, Judge?
I apologize, Judge. Mrs. Turner's case, I've spoken to the state. They have also spoken to Mr. Turner. In this particular case, we are asking for another offer. I just have requested the state speak to Mr. Turner again. If not, we're looking for a non-negotiated plea today, Judge.
All right, who are you communicating with? Ms. Githier or Ms. Reiser?
It's my case, Your Honor. We can go non-negotiated today.
All right, we can do a non-negotiated plea. So if you want to go over Ms. Kayla Turner about these terms, because I'm going to start one plea hearing right now. All right, Mr. Santos Turner, please mute yourself. All right. This is state versus, as I said, Barbie Quinn and Ms. Reiser. We've already gone through the preamble. Could you please articulate the recommended offer from the prosecution?
Your Honor, let's get the AS case.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
Your Honor.
I'm sorry. All right.
No problem.
Ms. Githier, okay, let me get
It's-
back. So
Yes.
Ms. Quinn was charged with DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol per se, DUI less safe, failure to have license or person, failure to maintain lane, and reckless driving. Are we proceeding on one or more of these charges?
Oh, Judge, position 40, simple
Wait,
battery.
Wait, Ms. Helen, I'm in the middle of a plea hearing.
Oh, okay, understood, Judge.
We are proceeding with the DUI per se, Your Honor.
Okay, so what's going to happen to the remaining charges? Null cross?
Yes.
Okay,
And I
And
will
what
get
is
the
the-
no pros order over to you.
all right. And what are the terms for this one remaining charge?
It's 12 months to serve 24 hours. Ms. Nguyen was not placed in custody on the date of the incident, so she will have to serve the 24 hours. The balance will be probated, 40 hours of community service, $300 fine, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, risk reduction program, and 1 victim impact panel.
Thank you. Mr. Bastian?
Yes, that's correct.
And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue and ID for the one charge of DUI per se?
I do, Your Honor.
And does your client understand that she will need to report to the Fulton County Jail and just be booked in, then right around and be booked out?
Okay, when can you do that?
I'll give her the dates.
Okay.
But I need her to understand that that's what's going to be required.
Yes, ma'am.
Some famous people have been doing it lately, so a lot of people know what.
You've been doing pretty good.
Don't bring it on to Raj.
Yeah.
Okay. But with regards to this particular case, Ms. Wen, have I placed you on oath? Okay. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
So, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings and your attorney's explanations?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with his services?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone forced you or induced you to take a plea offer today?
No, ma'am.
Are you doing so freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
And from what I gather from the sentence, this will be your first DUI conviction, first lifetime conviction.
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to keep it that way.
Only that way.
And has your attorney explained to you that if you decide to plead guilty, you will not have a trial, you will not have an opportunity to go back to court, confront your accuser, challenge the witnesses and the evidence brought against you, present your own defenses, present any mitigating factors, and have the state try to prove the original charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes,
Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you doing so freely, willingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
This will be a final decision in case there are no appeals after today. How do you plead to one count of DUI under influence of alcohol per se?
Yes.
Your sentence is 12 months and you should serve 1 day, and you will report to the Fulton County Jail next Wednesday. Is that possible?
Yes, ma'am. May is that all right if I write this down, if you don't mind?
I'm ready.
Thank you.
So I'll get some notes. Go on. I got it done.
Actually, if you don't mind, would you be able to report to the Fulton County Jail on Sunday?
This Sunday?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
If is that is it Wednesday?
I just thought we make it easier for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Is Wednesday good?
Yeah, Wednesday is fine. What time would you like?
I'd like you to be there before 12 noon.
12 noon. Yes.
Right? And so you report before 12 noon, and like I said, it's only for 1 day, so it's a book in and book out.
Okay. And the address and everything is on also on the paper.
It's going to be for the Fulton County Jail,
901 White Street.
901 Rice Street.
I'll send that to you.
I'm sorry. I'm really like.
If he gets nervous, that's what it is.
I totally understand. I'm just nervous that we all know these things by heart. Yeah. All right, so it's 901 Rice Street. And you go into the intake. Once you check into the front entrance, you just need to let them know that you're here to serve 1 day according to your sentence.
Yes.
And it's a book in and a book out.
Thank you so much.
Okay. You then report to probation on Thursday, next Thursday.
Next.
Or 3 p.m.
Okay.
That will be at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta.
Okay. Thank you so much.
While you're on probation, you will complete 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency that is not a school and not a church. You can go to Salvation Army, Goodwill, Animal Rescue, as long as it's a nonprofit, not a school and not a church or any religious organization.
Yes.
You need to pay a $300 fine. You need to complete an alcohol and drug evaluation and submit yourself to any treatment that's required. You need to complete a risk reduction program and attend and complete 1 victim impact plan. Your probation officer will have the list of conditions that you're required to complete. And as you complete them, they will check it off the box. All right?
Thank you.
They will explain what certificates are required and so forth. You report to probation every month. What's the date incident in this matter? February 11, 2020. Any objection to non-reporting, Ms. Rice? Or Ms. Gitalia? Sorry.
No objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Wen, the sooner you complete all these conditions, the sooner you complete these conditions, then you will, your requirements to report to probation will be non-reporting, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Means that as soon as you're done all the hours, the fines, the alcohol, drugs, risk reduction, victim impact panel, and your probation officer clears it with you that all conditions are satisfied, then you will be on probation, but you don't have to report anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
So that will be a big savings.
Thank you.
Otherwise, everyone has a probation fee.
Understood. Thank you.
All right, and I'm going to grant a certificate of first conviction.
Thanks, Your Honor.
You would need to go to clerk's office, surrender your license.
Yes.
You've got paperwork, okay. All right, do you have any questions, Ms. Wood?
No, ma'am.
That concludes our business, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you for coming, Ms. Basti. Thank you, Ms. Wood. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Patience.
One second, I'm just completing some paperwork.
Did this both of them?
I'll just. Clipboard. He won't just not do without a seal. Okay, so you just. Okay, Miss Howland, I'm all yours. Which one are you ready with?
Judge, we're ready on either positions. And for both, they will be non-negotiated.
Okay, so Mr. Xavier Young. He's on mute.
I'm here.
Okay, you would need to be standing, you can't move around when you begin with.
Okay, I'm just trying to, somebody cutting grass.
Hey, Mr. Young, if you could get to a desk or a table and sit down for us and then put that phone down in front of you, that'd be great.
Yes.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right, sir. Xavier Young, sent by Miss Health. We're still ready to print up the plea paperwork.
Hold on, Judge, I'll make sure that I'll resend it. I'll just resend it.
You can send it to Essen Smith or Randolph Evans.
Okay, Judge, give me 1 second.
And then Randolph, have I been calling you Randolph Evans?
Just sometimes
It must be a famous actor. Sorry, Mr. Randolph.
No, you're fine.
And Judge, Ms. Houston is back and did go to the clerk's office, got contact information. Is she excused at this time?
Who, did they give you an attorney?
No, ma'am, she said someone will call me that Monday, hopefully.
And Mr. Haddad did follow up with an email to the conflicts division. I can't help her at this time, but
Mr. Haddad still on Zoom?
I'm not sure, Judge, but he was sending emails just a moment ago.
I want to appoint Maureen McLeod to represent her.
Okay.
So, Mr. Randall, would you be able to, or Mr. Turner? Okay. Ms. Houston, before you leave this courtroom, we'll write down a name on the sheet of paper you have. The attorney will be Maureen McLeod.
Thank you.
And can you give that piece of paper to Ms. Rosenhuber?
Maureen spelled the traditional way and then
That is McCleod.
got it.
Okay. Ms. Houston, your case is going to be reset to November 2nd. At 9 a.m. And it's going to be a status calendar. All right?
So I come here and say I know them.
You can come on Zoom. And between now and November 2nd, you can bother the clerk's office if a Maureen McLeod has not reached out to you. All right? We've contacted the clerk's office to make sure they send the notice that your case number and so forth. Have you given them your current address, phone number, and email? So she will be able to reach you through either one of those options, right? All right, thank you. November 2nd, 9 a.m. Thank you. We got Mr.
Give me one more second, Judge, my internet.
Ms. Lippier, while I'm waiting for the plea paperwork from Ms. Helen, I just wanted to go over the 1:30 calendars.
I'll fill that in.
Yes, Your Honor.
So
Let me give this.
we have show cause with Andre Willis and Durante Partridge.
I have emailed Mr. Partridge on several tries and the emails bounced back and I attempted to call and the number was not in service.
For Mr. Partridge?
Yeah, but prior to today, in preparation of today's hearing, we have spoken. I don't know what happened.
All right. You Google it, you'll definitely find it. That much I do know. Okay. So any announcements for the 5 cases at 1:30?
I believe there's going to be some pleas. Position 1 will be a plea. Position 2 has filed a leave of absence. We're going to possibly request a reset for position 3. Position 4 was a medical emergency leave of absence was filed. And I am not certain on position 5.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And I believe I emailed it to Miss Essen Smith. Just let me know if she's received it.
I also sent the no pros order over for Ms. Nguyen.
And Miss Nguyen is excused, correct, Judge?
Yeah, that's okay. As long as she's got all the information, she's free to go.
Great.
Next Wednesday at Fulton County, Rice Street, and then Thursday at Mitchell Street. All right. Thank you.
don't need
Your Honor, will you be on the bench tomorrow for the 9 o'clock compliance calendar?
No, that would be
Mr. Randolph.
Judge Williams.
Mr. Randolph.
Okay.
Mr. Randolph. Hey. Did you bring up your forms?
I'm still in the what you call it? No, you good.
You're on hold. Thank you. Ms. Sebastian, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, we are proceeding with Xavier Young. This is 21 CR 004137B. Mr. Young is present via Zoom and represented by attorney Patrice Helen. Mr. Young, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Ms. Patrice Helen with the Public Defender's Office. You were originally accused in case number 21 CR 4137B of the offense of battery, family violence, cruelty in the third degree, and simple battery, family violence, stemming from a August 5th, 2021 incident in Fulton County, Georgia. This is going to be a non-negotiated plea hearing. That means that the prosecution is going to give me a recommendation of a sentence if you decide to plead guilty, and they will articulate the factual basis and the reasons why they're seeking that particular sentence. Your attorney will then let me know what would be an alternative sentence and the reasons for that alternative sentence. The court would then make a decision as to which recommendation they will accept, keeping in mind that I have the right to reject either recommendation and schedule this case for trial. So first I'm going to hear from the prosecution, and then I will hear from your attorney.
Yes, Your Honor. So, in terms of Mr. Young's case, state is recommending the following sentence. In regards to count 1, battery and family violence, the state is recommending 12 months to serve 60 days, balance in probation, to complete the family violence intervention program, to have no further contact with Ms. Young. Her name is spelled Z-J-E-D-A, Young, and Michael Calloway, C-A-L-L-A-W-A-Y, in regards to, and also a stay away from 7302 Basalt Drive, that's B-A-S-A-L-T Drive.
Repeat that, 7302.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the street name?
B-A-S-A-L-T Drive.
Okay.
Yes. In regards to count 2, simple battery family violence, state's recommended sentence is 12 months of probation to run concurrent to the battery family violence. And in regards to cruelty to children, the state is recommending 12 months of probation to run consecutive to the simple battery family violence. So the total sentence the state is asking the court to impose is 24 months to serve 60 days, balance on probation, FFIP, no further contact with either of the victims, and a stay away. Your Honor, had this case gone to trial, the facts would show that on the alleged incident date, the defendant and the victim, Ms. Young, who do have children together, got into a verbal altercation wherein the defendant picked up Miss Young and threw her to the floor. Miss Young had just given birth via C-section, so she was still in a very vulnerable state physically. And during that struggle, the victim's Miss Young's father, Mr. Calloway, tried to come in and break it up. At that point, the defendant then attacked Mr. Calloway, punching him in the face multiple times, and there were visible injuries on Mr. Calloway. All of this occurred in front of the party's child. And so, given the egregiousness of the facts and the physical violence between the that the defendant committed on the victims, we are asking for that 60-day recommendation with the other probation. In terms of his history, Judge, the only thing I'm seeing is a 2019 guilty conviction for driving and was suspended. Ms. Young is present on the Zoom call. She is aware of this, the state's recommended sentence, is in agreement with the recommended sentence. She doesn't want to make a statement, but I just wanted the court to know that her presence is on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Helen?
Understood, Judge. This is a non-negotiated plea. On behalf of Mr. Young, we're asking for time served. I did hear his history that essentially this is his second arrest. I think the other arrest was a driving while license suspended. In this particular case, when I spoke to Mr. Young, he was in a fight to defend himself. Unfortunately, for the other individuals, he got the better of him in defending himself inside of a residence that they were all sharing. So that they were all living at the same time. And it wasn't just Mr. Calloway who made physical attacks towards Mr. Young. It was also the alleged accuser and also the alleged accuser's mom, according to Mr. Young and how he advised it, that this was a group fight and he was protecting himself. So with that being said, and his history, he's not a long-standing violent offender. He does not have that history. So we are asking for time served with the conditions that have been suggested by the state judge.
And Ms. Young doesn't want to make a comment, correct?
No, that's correct, Judge. She supports the state's recommended sentence.
And I understand it's not a bond hearing, Judge, but Mr. Young is currently residing in South Carolina. He's been there since the last 2 years since this incident. He's also currently employed, and he does have 2 children, Judge.
Is that third-party transfer with the children, or?
We would be asking for that, Judge. We understand that there's no contact and a stay away. We have no issues with that, but we would ask for a third-party visitation with any minor children shared between the alleged accuser.
I'm just looking up the documents that were filed in this case. So essentially, you're asking for time served with the, but any objection to the concurrent sentence of 24
Probation, Judge?
Mm-hmm.
No, Judge.
If Mr. Young is asserting self-defense as a reason to mitigate time served for this particular offense involving 2 victims, and where there isn't any report of any injury or bruising or any kind of infliction upon Mr. Xavier Young, I'm a little puzzled. Why am I going with time served?
Well, Judge. Wait, no, Mr. Young, let me speak. Thank you. We understand the judge's perspective, but when I spoke to Mr. Young, he advised me in those terms. He was merely defending and pushing himself off. And so, Judge, I do understand the state's recommendation of 60 days, but due to his history, again, also Mr. Young advising, I just wanted to defend myself and essentially get out of there. He's had he hasn't been back to that location and no contact with, I believe it's Michael or the alleged accusers, Judge. And so for the last 2 years, he wants to resolve this. He does have those 2 children, Judge. And so he's willing to close this case, but we are asking for time served, Judge.
It'll be 30 days, 2 for 1, he'll have to serve 15 days. The 2 victims, they both don't want to have contact with him. I have no indication of a scintilla of self-defense in any of the documents of the warrants. Unless, but he does have a right to go to trial and he does have a right to testify.
Understood, Judge.
Remain silent.
Can I have an opportunity to speak to Mr. Young?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Judge.
Will the host please place Xavier Young and Catrice Helen in the breakout, please? Ms. Helen or Mr. Young, yeah, you'll get a message on your screen to join the breakout.
Good afternoon, Judge. I just emailed pictures that Mr. Young took of his injuries.
Can you screen share those?
You want, oh, sure. Give me 1 second.
Ms. Rice, you have.
It says, Your Honor, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Just give us a minute.
I made you a co-host, Miss Allen.
I'll forward this to you, Your Honor. Okay, that's weird, you know. And I apologize. I think I was mute. Judge, do you see what I see?
Yeah.
And I hope none of it's being obstructed because I have the view on the right-hand side.
Okay. Ms. Rice, do you see the pictures?
I do.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Ms. Helen?
No, Judge, I'm going to stop the screen share right now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll be fine. All right. Does the state have any comment on the pictures being shown?
This is the first time I've seen them, Judge, today. I don't know when these were taken. And based on the facts of the case as the state would prove at trial, when this incident occurred, the defendant fled the scene. He did not stay for police. That's noted in the police report. I know we're, I guess, arguing over the facts at this point, but I think the state's factual basis for this does not support the defendant's claim of any alleged self-defense. So I just ask the court to follow the state's recommendation for 60 days to serve at minimum in this case.
Any response, Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, I understand that Mr. Young was not on scene. He was trying to get away and those documents, I also, if Mr. Young, I don't know if he was able to leave the breakout room.
If you're the co-host, you can actually check and see whether he's still there.
He is, and how do I get him out of that?
And just close out. the
Move
breakout.
to
Yeah. Close out. the
main
breakout.
session, cool. Hi, Mr. Young, can you unmute yourself? When were you able to take those photos that you just sent to me on that link?
Same day.
Was that the outfit, the shirt that you had on that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. At the present time, it's still going to be, the state's asking for 60 days. I'm reducing that to 30 days. I have 2 victims. I have domestic violence. I have an individual who fled the scene. And almost 3 years later now, we're seeing these pictures.
And Judge, I'm not sure why Mr. Young didn't provide those photos, but those are the photos we have. I don't believe Mr. Young is going to accept those 15 days. Can we set this for a jury trial?
Position 44 is further notice for jury trial. Mr. Young will have to appear in person for the jury trial. Please be sure to make sure your address and your contact information, your phone number and email are all current. So if you've moved out of state, please be sure that your address and all that information is current.
And not to interrupt you, Judge, is there a way Mr. Young could update that information today via Zoom or?
You can send it in the chat to either LM Randall or LM Smith, Essen Smith. All right.
Which
And
one shall I send it to?
there are 2 participants, one that begins with LM Essen Smith or LM Randall. All right, now we go to Clinton, South Carolina, but I just want to be sure that information's on the way. Okay. And then we are issuing a pre-hearing order. So Ms. Helen, I guess we'll see you for trial for this one.
Yes, Judge. Is Mr. Young excused?
Yes, he is. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Last position, and I think I scanned and emailed that to Ms. Smith. That'll be Ms. Turner. And that's position 40 on the status calendar.
Turner is position 40. No, it's not 40.
Kayla Turner on.
You're right. You're right. All right. So this is state versus Kayla Turner. Ms. Turner, if you'd like to unmute, please. All right.
Hello, Your Honor.
Yes. Your case number is 20 CR 4443, in which you were accused of simple battery, domestic violence, and June 5th, 2019. Ms. Turner, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Ms. Catrice Helen. This is going to be a non-negotiated plea hearing. So Ms. Vipier, excuse me, the prosecutor, Ms. Reiser, is going to be telling me what's the recommendation if you decide to plead guilty or no contest to this charge. And then your attorney will articulate a recommendation. Mr. Young, you are free to go, or Mr. Glanville, we can remove him from the Zoom. As I was saying, your attorney will give me a recommendation. Once I receive these, once I receive the recommendations, I will then make a decision as to which recommendation I will accept. Keeping in mind that I have a right to reject either one based on the circumstances of the case, and then set the case down for trial. So, Ms. Rison?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommended sentence as to the count of simple battery family violence, complete arguing, non-negotiated, 12 months to serve 60 days. Credit for any of the days that she served, balance prorated with 2 for 1, that'll bring it down to 30 days. To enroll and complete the family violence intervention program, to have no further contact with Mr. Turner, 100 hours of community service, and to stay away from their residence until she completes the family violence intervention program. Your Honor, had this case, yes. And it's my understanding they are married or still together. Had this case gone to trial, the facts would show on June 5th of 2019, officers were dispatched to I-285 southbound near Camp Creek just before Washington Road in East Point in reference to a fight. Miss Turner and Mr. Turner were driving in the vehicle. They had left the family house after an argument between the two. It's my understanding, based on the facts of the case, that Mr. Turner exited the vehicle. Miss Turner left, came back, saw him walk on the side of the road. A physical a physical altercation ensued where Miss Turner punched him in the eye. Your Honor, in this case, I think her history is extensive. Out of the state of Georgia, she has 13 cycles. She has a 2015 conviction for theft by shoplifting, a 2016 conviction for disorderly conduct, a 2016 conviction for theft by shoplifting. She has a 2019 NOLA plea to driving without a valid license. She has a 2020 conviction out of Cobb County for terroristic threats, misdemeanor level. She has an open 2022 possession of a scheduled uncontrolled substance that was reduced down to possession of drug-related objects out of Cobb County. That's a guilty conviction. And it appears there's an open Cobb County case for simple battery that occurred on June 11th of 2022. In that case, Your Honor, that involved Mr. Turner and her daughter. Specifically in that case, in reading the police report out of that Cobb County incident that was subsequent to this, it appears that the defendant and her daughter got into an argument, and her daughter had told police at that time that her mother, the defendant, does hit Mr. Turner on occasion when they get in arguments. She also has 21 cycles out of Michigan. A majority of those cycles are convictions for retail fraud, resisting arrest, retail fraud, failure to stop at a stop sign causing personal injury. There's a 2013 conviction for assault and battery, 2010 retail fraud, another conviction for false pretenses. I mean, her history is extensive, Judge. There is some violence in her history, including the assault and battery out of Michigan, terroristic threats, and an open simple battery with the same parties out of Cobb County subsequent to this incident. I know that I believe it's my understanding that Mr. Turner doesn't want to prosecute this case, but the state's concern here is for the safety at home, especially when there's a younger child involved. And we're asking that the state, based on the facts in her history, you impose the sentence.
Yes, Judge. Just for clarification, the Cobb County case does not allege Mr. Turner as an alleged accuser. So there's separate parties.
Okay.
The Cobb County case is with her daughter, which is not open. It has been closed and it is currently on a probated sentence, in which I do believe she has contact that has been granted through Cobb County. In this particular case, Judge, I do hear the state's recommendation for 60 days, but I don't believe the terroristic threats involved any of the alleged accusers here today or in Cobb County. So Judge, this isn't a repeat of the same individual. I do hear the cases and I do hear the history, but in this particular case, Judge, we're asking for time served. I think 60 days would be egregious. Ms. Turner would not be able to do 60 days in this particular case, Judge. We're asking for time served, for the credit for time served, the 1 day, for the remainder to be a probated sentence, the Family Violence Intervention Program. We have Mr. Turner here. I asked him to be here, part of the Zoom. I think the state also asked him to be here to ask whether or not he wanted contact with Mrs. Turner, because they are currently still married. So Judge, we were going to ask for no further violent contact. And we understand the 100 hours of community service.
Southwest Turner, I know you've been very patient. Did you want to have your input in this case?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Did you want to say anything? I would need to place you under oath.
Yeah,
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right. Well, you've heard the prosecutor's recommendation. You've heard the allegations. You've heard the prior criminal record history of Ms. Turner, as well as the case involving, is it your daughter as well?
It's my stepdaughter.
Okay. So what would you like to tell me?
I mean, I've stated since day one that I didn't want to prosecute because she did nothing wrong to me. I wrote that in the email in 2020, I believe, to someone. And when I talked to the prosecutor the other day, I stated the same thing. I didn't, I don't feel threatened, and and there was no issue that where she should have went to jail that day. And I said from the beginning, I don't want to prosecute the case.
Well, the decision to prosecute is really is with the Solicitor General's. It's not up to the alleged victim. So they must have looked at other things to make that decision. Let me see.
And Your Honor, I could just clarify for the record something when it's appropriate.
Okay.
Yes, Judge, I believe defense counsel had indicated that the subsequent Cobb County out of 2022 did not involve specifically Mr. Turner. There wasn't an alleged physical violence towards Mr. Turner. But if you, and I have the police report, I'd be happy to share it with any of the parties. The reason that there was an altercation between Miss Defendant and her daughter, and I'm just going to read for the police report so we have clarity. The daughter told officers that the defendant was engaged in a verbal dispute which turned physical. The daughter said the defendant and her stepfather, Mr. Turner, always argue, and at times the defendant hits Mr. Turner. The daughter said that today the defendant and Mr. Turner were arguing, and she yelled out from her room toward them that she's tired of listening to them. So the daughter got in between them, and that's when the physical altercation allegedly took place between the daughter and Miss Turner. So I know that there's not physical violence between Miss Turner and Mr. Turner in the subsequent incident, but you can see the continuous arguments and verbal arguments and potential for violence between the parties. And I think it's an ongoing, at least from our incident till 2022. And the state is concerned based on this history of verbal disputes that turn physical.
All right. Anything else to add, Mr. Turner? It looks like that's an allegation of ongoing
Your Honor, that's
between you and your spouse.
that's not an ongoing thing, Your Honor. And I mean, it's not an ongoing thing. You
Okay.
know.
Okay.
And I would like contact with her, you know.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Ms. Helen, anything else to add?
Other than Ms. Turner would like to have contact with her husband, they are still married, and for it to be no further violent contact, Judge.
I can see that. No further violent contact with Saptis Turner, and any contact with her daughter would have to be in accordance with whatever happened in that terroristic threat case.
Johnny!
Anything else, Ms. Helen?
No, Judge.
So you're asking me to, on a plea, if she agrees that she struck Mr. Saptis Turner on June 5th, 2019, that she not be given any jail time because she was also arrested on an outstanding fugitive from justice warrant at the time that she was booked into jail.
Well, Judge, the only booking I have is from that. It just says a fugitive from justice.
Right. It wasn't on a warrant for the simple battery.
And Ms. Turner, unmute yourself. When were you arrested?
For what? For
the case that we're talking about right now with Mr. Turner. When were you arrested?
His birthday the 2nd. So it was like 3-4 days later or somewhere in there.
June 9th of 2019. Who arrested you? Which police agency?
I think it was East Point. We were going towards, at the time he was working for JB Hunt, and we were going towards Forest Park, down the highway towards Forest Park by Washington exit and
what happened when you got to
exit
East Point?
1, and I think when I got to East, you saying on the highway?
No, when you got to East Point precinct, what happened?
Oh, when I got to East Point precinct, I was just booked in on the charge for, him, but I didn't go straight to the precinct.
Okay, but did you bond out?
No, I was given a OR bond or what a PR bond, the to come back to court on my own thing.
Understood.
I had no other charges pending. Against me. I was not on probation or anything for anything else at the time of this incident.
You're correct. You're correct. The only booking at the Fulton County Jail was for a fugitive warrant in 2021.
Wait, Ms. Turner,
I didn't have the information that she was booked at the local precinct jail. So she wasn't booked at the Fulton County Jail on this incident. Okay.
No, I was booked at a little small.
Ms. Turner, thank you.
Now, the other issue I have then is her significant criminal record history. 2016, 2019, 2020, 2022, including 21 cycles from Michigan. Ms. Helen, it would be a very difficult situation to accept the plea with no jail time in this present matter, irrespective of the fact that Mr. Turner is not seeking to testify against her. So it'll be really up to the state. At the present time, Ms. Turner has a right to go to trial. And if the court accepts the plea, it would have to be 15 actual days in jail.
Your Honor, I don't think Ms. Turner is going to accept that plea. Can we be put on for a jury trial calendar?
Certainly. To be further notice for a jury trial, she would need to appear in person, and we're going to issue a pre-hearing order today.
And Judge, can Ms. Turner update her contact information with the court via Zoom right now?
Ms. Turner, do you know how to use chat?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you go into the chat feature, send in your current address, phone number, and email to LM Essen Smith or LN Randall. Mr. Randall, with regard to this one, we need to put in the state and violation. I don't know, who are you sending it to, Ms. Turner? Are you sending it to Ms. Smith or Mr. Randall?
To Mrs. Essen, LM Essen Smith.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All
And
right.
Janae is coming.
So, Ms. Helen, with regards to Mr. Young and Ms. Turner, the cases are going to be further notice for a jury trial. And that concludes our calendar.
Thank you, Judge. Is
Ms.
Ms. Turner excused?
Mr. Turner is excused. Ms. Gippe, I'll see you at 1:30.
Okay.
Let me see, Mr. Glanville, let's close out the breakout as soon as Ms. Turner has sent in the information. And we can pause the live stream and recording.
You want me to excuse Ms. Turner from the Zoom or?
No, as soon as she sent in the information, we can pause the
live stream.
Pause the recording and live stream at one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I
Ms. Turner?
sent it. I sent it.
All right. Do not close out the Zoom. Ms. Turner, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Court will resume at 1:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.